Cool. Alrighty.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello, world.
Hi.
Session 14. Gosh, we played 14 sessions. We started in gosh, what was like April or some shit of this year?
Fucking hell.
Started in the month.
Very nice.
It's not that
Very
month
nice.
anymore.
Yeah.
Time is
exactly.
slow.
Cool. Who wants to give a recap of last session?
We did our absolute best to avoid a Perkins breakfast.
Evil.
And you succeeded.
Well, mostly.
For
There
the
was
most
one
part.
dish served.
Ah,
I don't like referring them as dishes.
there was some deviled eggs served. They were tasty.
I also don't like the implication of eating them afterwards.
You all are savages.
Well, it was burned, so it can't have been that.
True.
Okay,
True.
that's where that analogy ends. We disappointed our captain figure. We marched off into battle. We met a lot of interesting people. We learned that yet again the machine has horrible timing. Also fuck worms. They
Fuck
just
worms,
kill
exactly.
them all with the largest
Exactly.
caliber thing you happen to have lying around.
Yes. You all descended down the caverns, the old Egregorian pathways and transit ways of outside of Hive Home, and came across a old, very old cache of Evergorian eggs. And by the direction of Terror and through the guidance of, guidance of Bitter, you guys were escorted to this worm's cache, this egg cache, and told to protect it. You all encountered some hive worms, which were morphed and mutated to grow to exceptionally large proportions. Typically, these things are the size of a palm or a forearm, but they were almost equal in size to your size 2 mechs, so towering some 20 feet, half buried in the ground and half kind of exposed. But you all dealt with that. You also dealt with some arriving machine forces that seemed to kind of trickle in from the underground stream. Maybe what's coming to you guys' attention is not attention, but what you're realizing is that the subterranean kind of environment on Hyceria is much different. There's underground streams, there's these eggs, there's these other life. It's just very strange down here. And if you had any questions about how the Egregorians developed and evolved, you will probably put to rest because you understand now that this is just again like a different type of world. But yeah, where we will find you all is in the aftermath of your battle with recovering these worms, recovering these eggs rather. Let's activate this music. You all see, as you're kind of holding down the area, Bitter and the rest of Hycerian forces are being very meticulous in how they're recovering and transporting these eggs. You all know that they're, the ones you see before you are maybe numbering the thousands or so. There's several hundred kind of contained in one mound. But beyond you, there are much more as you kind of see them glimmer in the distance as some of their HEC Rangers are kind of shining their flashlights in their direction. There doesn't appear to be any more reinforcements or other assailants in the form of worms or the machine arriving in you guys' position. But yeah, you guys are here. Do you guys want to do anything before you head back to Hive Home?
Kanye does message Bitter and it's like, these eggs can't be. What? I understand that many of the Egregorians have at least seen if not participated in the previous Arsenian crisis. What's the lifespan of an Egregorian? These eggs, this entire section was completely blocked off.
Bitter is carefully kind of analyzing the eggs and checking the condition of them, and kind of hears you and kind of responds to you and says, "You see, Kanya, I'm sure you've noticed we Egregorians have a unique ability to morph and change to the environment that holds us. My assumption is that even in the pupal stage, our kin have found some way to preserve themselves. Normally, they'd be like you would assume, dead, decayed, buried, but fortunately, many live."
The funny thing is, Union does the same thing.
I find that troubling.
All over the universe, they send ships full of nothing more than genetic information and a robot to make it a person eventually. They just chuck them at planets. With enough terraforming gear to make it habitable.
I've heard stories. There are records and osteomimetics of Union's tactics. This, what you speak of, I haven't heard before. It's not recorded in witness. Strange. I'd like to hear more. But I know we only have a little bit of time. I know you will have to get back to the summit.
Right. Be as helpful as he can, either in or out of mech.
Cool. Yeah, you all start to kind of help these Hyserians escort or transport these eggs. Imagine if your mechs are capable, maybe Scalpels is among anyone else's in your party, of actually transporting them safely. So Scalpels, you'll probably get offered or asked by some of the Hyserian Rangers to, transport some containers that have some of these eggs in them.
Yeah, absolutely. They'd be happy to pop open the extra space and yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. So your whole med base fill up by vials and containers of Egregorian kin. Anything else before you guys pack up and head out?
Mm-mm.
Cool beans.
Yeah, no,
So-
the Hustinians didn't get engaged at all, right?
They did not know. They stayed behind as
Yeah,
you guys
so-
spent the 5 or so minutes taking out these eggs. I mean, taking out the
El
worms.
Scalperino is not particularly fussed then. They might check on Kaiser because Kaiser's mech is having a time, but Kaiser,
Yeah.
the person, are they dying?
Are they what?
Dying. Like, is Kaiser wounded? Is
Oh.
basically what Scalpel's checking.
Kaiser kind of looks at himself. He's like, well, I feel like I'm done at the regular rate that a normal human should be.
How are those organs you installed back on Nkulu?
Is good to know, I suppose.
Should we be worried your
if
amniotic
that,
fluid's turning red?
If that rate of dying increases, please let me know.
All right, I do need a good surgeon from time to time.
Nice. Well, yeah, the Hyserian Rangers kind of, not necessarily finish up their work here. There's going to be a long, many more days of extracting these Egregorian eggs carefully. And so they're kind of look like some of them are setting up like a forward station here, kind of like an excavation site. Bitter will, though, head back with you all back to Hive Home. And yeah, you guys head back. So maybe it's another hour or so journey back up these caverns. No instances of the machine or subalterns or any hive worms. You seem to scare them all away. And yeah, you get back to Hive Home. As you arrive and bring your mechs into the mech bay to get a little bit of repairs from your last battle, you notice a couple things about the ongoings of Hive Home. It seems a bit more live than it previously was. There appears to be rather the gondolas mini gondolas that bring folks in from the midwall to the center islands. They are running exceptionally encumbered. As you can kind of see that many like kind of transit buckets are kind of running on one line. It appears that people are arriving into Hive Home. You could assume that these are the other cities, a part of the Hycerian United Cities, and even on some of the underground lakes and some of the other pedestrian walkways, you see some of the guards and security forces and other kind of HUC folk and rangers. They're wearing different livery. It would be easy enough to ascertain that the livery kind of is indicative of Daylight, which is another city, and Michael Fields, which is another city in Hycerian United Cities. You all can stop and talk to them if you want to, but not too many are kind of around the mech bay, but yeah.
I imagine that Q would probably look to see if there's anyone who he could reach out to in order to find out what the situation is with the Rangers who are being attacked by an unknown force. His mind would still be very much on the mission.
That'd definitely be Dethal.
Yeah, if the doll is here in the mech bay, I'd probably beeline straight for them.
She's in comms range.
Okay, then yeah, I kind of comment to her and ask her about the other mission, if there is anything we can do, and apologize for the delay that the egg mission ended up taking.
Cool. Dethal responds back to you over radio, and she says, "No worries, Q. Unfortunately, we weren't able to hear back much from the team that was being assailed. But what we did find out is that St. Tellus marches on our position."
Can you repeat that, Shaka?
She says St. Tellus marches on their position.
St. Tellus.
Yes.
I would ask for clarification as to who this is exactly. Who is this St. Tellus?
She says, St. Tellus, they live across the long sea, not on Soloterra, another continent. We've spotted their reconnaissance forces for at least 30 years now, but this has been their most aggressive assault on our forces on our grounds. We suspect St. Tellus is led by another hive mind, one like Endeavor. But those are just our suspicions. Among the dead of past run-ins with St. Tellus, we found Egregorians.
I see. And just kind of having gathered this, Q kind of nods and takes in the last of it takes this time to just apologize for his team's inability to do more, but also in a weird way thankful that they at least know who they're fighting. He doesn't necessarily want to make a promise that he can't keep, but he does want it to be known that he intends to address this problem.
Gotcha. Nosimbo responds with no need for an apology. The successful recovery of our Egregorian kin is arguably a much more significant outcome.
You
While
said
I
a
do
single
value-
response?
No. This is the fall. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, get off the
My
phone,
bad.
Asimbo.
My bad. Yeah, she says it's a much more significant outcome, and she does mourn the loss of the Rangers because they are presumably dead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, cool. As you guys bring your mechs into the med bay, William comes up to your mech, Kaisar, and says, "Did you experience any premonitions of Anander?"
Premonitions. Did Kaiser?
No, you. I don't know. Did you? We didn't cover that in the narrative of like the battle, but if you remember, you're piloting the Enkidu, which was Anander's old mech. Anander, as in regret, and kind of laced upon some of the external armor of the Enkidu were the histories of Anander, kind of inscribed in Asuma medics.
Ah. So Kaiser to reply. Well, I feel like this Akitu has a personality of its own sometimes, and perhaps it is Anander. Maybe lost or confused, but in time, I will return him to you in one way or another.
Please don't keep their memory with you. Anander's mission, an attack on Evergreen, while regrettable, doesn't paint them as a villain. They have bonded with this mech, their histories. Should they arise, manifest, please tell me of them. They were a friend of mine.
All right, very well, William.
Sorry,
And-
I nearly
Go
cracked
ahead.
up. It's just, how about now?
William will tell you all that he and the rest of the rangers here that kind of repair some of the other mechs in the in Hive Worms mech bay have time to start work on repairing your mechs. You all just have to tell me what you want repair first. So the options, since like Hive Worms doesn't have like printers and all like the updated tech of like Evergreen, takes longer to repair your mechs. So I want you all to tell me what you want them to work on first. Your options are repair all your weapons, repair either stress or structure, or cool your overcharge to 0.
Oh, okay. So only one of those 3.
Hmm.
Well, it's something they're gonna get started working on first. They can do all of it, but they just need more time.
Okay. Well, I think I'll go stress, overcharge, structure.
Alrighty, stress will happen first. Scalpel. Oh wait, that's the Let's get you guys. Give me a second. Let me get your
Liberty
other
type
mechs.
in chat.
Yeah, those mechs are bogus. Mechs. And where's Dawnfall? There we go. And your HP automatically goes up.
Oh, that's
Okay.
pleasant. Thanks,
Let's
guys.
see. Let's see. There we go. So Kaiser, Abiku, Dawnfall, Scalpel. So Scalpel. Yeah, your stress goes up to 4, and you are A-okay. Your
Yay.
heat goes down to 0 if you want it to. HP goes up to 12. I'm doing this for you. Structure's at 3. Yeah. Structure's at 3. Overcharged dice is at 1d3.
Should be 1d6.
All right, 1d6.
Unless it's 1d3 after the thing.
Oh no, I think it's 1d6.
It's 1d6 on my page. So
Cool. Cool. So your structure's at 3 of 4. Repairs 3 of 4. Cool. You can bring up your repairs too. They have enough room to give you guys extra repairs. So you're at 4 of 4 repairs. Kaisar, what do you want to do?
Weapons.
Weapons come back. All the weapons are back. Add all those weapons back.
Yay.
Repairs are also restored at 5.
Oh.
Structure's at 3. Yeah, you're good. Overcharge at 1d6 plus 4. Cool. Downfall.
I know I remember taking a structure, but my structure was at 4 on my sheet, so, and I know I overcharged once, and I know I overcharged at least once. So
I don't think you took a structure.
Okay, I thought I did. Even if I didn't,
I can't remember clearly enough. But the
'Cause I thought I
sheets
just got
do
a
look a
pair.
bit glitched because like I was tracking my stuff last session, and it seems like the sheet that Shaka was interacting was outdated, which is odd.
Weird.
Weird.
So Scapula, like on if you double click your mech.
Yeah, I see that one is done correctly. But usually I click into the napalm in the list, the one with the icon.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, I see what's going on. You use the one that doesn't have an icon. I use the one that has an icon. So I will shift over to using the one without an icon.
You can shift to the one that does have an icon. I like that better.
You sure?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
This one's linked to.
Yeah. I see.
Whereas the other one just looks pretty.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I'll delete the one that doesn't have an icon. That has an icon.
Okay. Cool.
Alrighty. All right. So yeah, Dawnfall. You got 1d3. You have 4 4, 4 4, 12 HP. You have 1 to 3 repairs. Yeah. What do you? I think you're good.
Yeah. Honestly, I just need to refill my repairs, and I think reset my overcharge, and I think that's it.
All right. Cool. All right. Resetting overcharge, fulfilling repairs. You're good. All right. Abiku. Oh God. Your token doesn't. Oh God. Let me fix this real quick.
Token is kill.
Oh.
Yeah. Your token. I think I deleted.
Such a shame that BQ's it blew up. Your Mac
gone forever.
It's gone.
I remember overheating, but my sheet says that I have all my stress.
Yeah, you definitely overheated.
Yeah, I know I overheated at least once. But I don't think I structured it all.
You did structure.
Did I?
Yep, the last encounter.
Okay.
I don't know why. Like, I need to figure out how to add your because your mech. If I double click your mech, it doesn't have like a sheet towards it, but I can't add your other mech for some reason.
Weird.
Yeah, it's all right. Oh no, it's not all right because it's important.
But in that case, I guess I want to get my structure back. I want to get my stress back, and if possible, if I get my overcharge die reset, does it reset it back to the beginning, or does it make it just go down a tier?
So you can only do one right now. So it's either overcharge, structure, or stress.
Got you. I want stress. I want them to do stress first.
Alrighty.
And then if they have time, or sorry, not stress, structure first, and then if they have time, just going through the list of order of operations, structure, then stress, then overcharge die rather.
Cool. Gosh, dude. All right, so I can't add your mech to the scene for some reason, which is not great.
Yeah, generally you want to avoid having issues like that.
Yeah. That one.
It's fine. I can't be targeted.
Oh God, this is not bueno. I should. Oops, let me do that. Why can't I add you? Yeah, it's like not letting me.
Never
do it.
put me in a situation, Shaka.
Let me see if I can add someone else's mech. No. All right. This is very, very curious.
And Biku is a cryptid.
I'm not really sure how to do this actually.
You thought the housekeeping was over? Nay.
I know.
And it don't stop.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this. Prototype token. Let's see a Biku image. Yeah, tip psycho. Sign token. It must update token. God damn it. Let me see if I can refresh. Maybe that'll work. Because I think I actually deleted. I don't know how the new Foundry works, honestly. For some reason, it like has 2 mechs.
Foundry's been through a lot. It updated, and then you update it.
Yeah, it's like it wants to like pain me. It wants to pain me. All right, let's see.
Can't believe it wants Universal pull you. This is a bad joke about Naruto.
Aha! Refresh.
I exist.
Are you ready for the next problem?
What?
The Dawnfall mech is a square token.
Yeah.
Oh no!
That's simple.
That's
Literally
because you're a
unplayable.
square.
First of all, how dare you?
Simple.
Second of all, I resemble that remark.
The simple prop. Oh yeah, you're a square. Yeah, definitely. Cool. So you all spend time to upgrade your mechs and instruct these Hercynians to do repairs on your mechs. It's not long before you're kind of like overviewing the repairs here and probably watching some of the other Egregorians and Hercynians inspect your mechs in awe before you are contacted by Nosimbo. She contacts you all on your hard suits. You see her image pop up. And she says, I assume your mission went well.
Yeah.
Just this awkward silence.
That's canon.
That is just kind of, yeah, with a thumbs up.
There is pause. Did something go wrong?
We had one egg clutch, unfortunately, fall to the enemy, so to speak. However, we got the majority of them safely out.
That is unfortunate, but also enlightening to hear.
There is also the regret of the scouts that had to sacrifice their lives for Hive Worms, which isn't the best, but it's what we have to live with.
Yes, I heard from Dethal. She is, I don't know if you all have spoken with her, but she is a bit distraught.
You could not get that.
You didn't get that?
Dethal is pretty good
I'm
at
just thinking,
masking their,
yeah,
their
Me
depression.
talking to Dethal. Everything's all right. Yeah? Yeah. Actually, Dethal just fucking guts theme.
What'd you say, Scalpel?
Nothing important.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Nisimbo's going to ask, well, now that you all are situated, I hope you've noticed some other arrivals into Hive Home. It appears Terra and Ilar is Dethal's father. He is the head honcho here, a head honcho here in Hive Home. She says, it appears Ilar and Terra are convening or are about to start the summit. I would like to speak with you all before you arrive. Meet me outside of the gates.
Hugh just kind of sighs and picks up his he's had a new Woyo mask printed, so picks
There's
up
no
his
printers here. Oh, print. Oh, back on Evergreen. Okay.
Oh no, because I thought
You would have to make your own mask.
yeah,
if you have a
I
hand
thought I
printer.
have yeah, I thought
You
I had a
probably have
hand
the skills
printer.
to do that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I had a hand printer, but I also recognize that I probably haven't changed my sheet back since probably haven't changed my
Yeah,
sheet
after
back
the
to having a
secret
hand printer since we
mission.
did the secret mission.
It's like you have a data playing smart scope. Oh yeah. Oh, I got you. Yeah, personal drone. Well,
Yeah.
you still have your personal drone, so.
Yeah, but I grab either way. The idea is that I grab my stuff and kind of slug my way over there. Very tired man.
Cool. Yeah, as you all make your way from the hangar and over towards where the summit is occurring, like I described earlier, you do see some other folks from other Hysterian cities, Michael Fields and Daylight. You probably catch a glimpse of two people that look fairly important, that you have not seen before. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
I love people who look important that I've not seen before.
Yes. You definitely see. Let me see. Let's see. Primrose Camarandt. You probably get pointed out by some of the other Hercinians here that this is Primrose Camarandt. He's a old dude. He's prone to smoking from the pipe, and definitely wears livery that is similar to Daylight. So they wear a lot of carapace armor. And then also Prytro Hydel. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Prytro Hydel is a tan-skinned individual and wears kind of like robes and garbs and is bespeckled. Very tall, and you probably get from the glimpse of them that they are a very like astute and analytical kind of cold personality. Two of these people will be participating in the summit, and you'll have to sway them, maybe. But yeah, as you all kind of make your way through Hive Home, and you end up meeting Nosimbo outside the gates of where the summit is occurring, close to the location where the Hessinian headquarters or the Rangers headquarters is at. As you approach, you see a huge building in a long line outside of this building. Looks like there's a mix of Egregorians from Hive Home, Daylight, and Mycall Fields, and humans kind of rushing into this large, which you would assume is an auditorium. It's domed in kind of a concrete and brick mud mesh, much like the other buildings here in Hive Home. And you also see Dathal kind of moving in with her father, Ilar Ordo. But yeah, Nosimbo is on the outskirts of outside of this domed building, and she waits for you all to approach.
Yeah, I think we do.
Guess we approach.
Cool.
Oh,
I approach joylessly.
Nice. Nosimbo says, "All right, well, I think this is the moment we've been preparing for. I have not yet met the commanders or the ones in charge of Mycall Fields in Daylight, but I hear from the whispers around Hive Home that Mycall Fields tends to side with Daylight on all matters. They are much more smaller than Hive Home here, also housing an Egregorian population that is much less in number, while they are what I hear to be attached to Endeavor. Again, they're not residents of Hive Home. And of Commander Primrose, the Camarandt, the one in charge of Daylight. I hear that they prefer a option that leaves Hive Home as a battleground. As you all would expect, I don't think our hosts here in Hive Home would find that option favorable. I won't tell you all what to do, but I'm sure you know the right course of action.
Abiku, rather Key, just kind of mumbles to himself, right is relative. But he doesn't really say anything further, seeming almost lost in his thoughts.
He is going to give a concerned side-on look at that, but isn't going to jump on it. He's still angry.
I worry about your medical condition, but I'm mad at you.
I'd like to check in, but you're a punk.
The Simbo responds with, yes, Q, right is relative. And if you would ask me, I think that our position on the matter, or rather, Mfagane's position, should be in full support, whatever preserves the home of the Egregorians.
What if they don't like that?
It is not my position to comment on that. You all have worked more closely with them than I have. I've only heard whispers along the line. Cool. Well, if that's all you guys have to say to Nosimbo, she will ask you all to follow her into the hall where the summit is occurring. What you all see is what's on the map right here. There are 4 seats for you all towards the center table. Yeah,
I'm
wait,
in a field of gray.
Oh wow! Why isn't it moving you guys over?
My world is gray, man.
I activated it. Let me activate. Let's see.
You move faster than
You
light.
activated my trap card.
All right, now move you to that one. So it should move you to this one.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are here.
Cool.
Hey, we're at the big table. Woo!
You all are escorted
Hello,
through
terror.
this. Let me change the music. So the summit is occurring here, and it is kind of a public display. There are many Ecuadorian and Hycerians from both Hive Home Daylight and Michael Fields in the pews. Also, recognize some familiar faces in terms of Van Lucia is in attendance. Josimbo, of course, Thithal, and Bitter is also here. If you kind of scroll over the center pew, you can kind of see them. At the table with you all are the people I showed you earlier. Primrose and Pritor. I can't say that.
Piotr.
Piotr. Yeah, Piotr. Yeah, maybe it's Russian. Piotr. Yeah.
It's a Slavic name.
His full name is Piotr. Yeah.
And also Il Ordo. This is Dithal's father.
It looks like it's actually the token's got the wrong name. It looks like the one in the character sheet is Piotr.
And my favorite, Terror.
Is a Slavic name.
I can't spell. I think the one on the
Terror, my
sheet,
best friend.
Yeah. I think the one on the sheet's correct. But yeah. You all see all 4 of these folk at the table with you. As you all enter and you kind of find your seats at the table, Terror kind of calls out and starts to begin the summit. Seems you all didn't arrive late, but they were kind of, already here waiting for you. But they were
We
just
missed
kind of,
formalities, but we got
yeah,
everything out.
exactly. Tara says, Piotr, Primrose, El Ordo. These are our allies from Evergreen. They are joined by the one called Nosimbo. And he points with his long scythe towards one of the pews in Nosimbo's direction.
Question: does Terror say allies almost as though they are questioning it? Because that's how it's
Yes.
sounding.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Allies?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Whatever
Tara
these
says-
guys
Going to
are.
use his scythe on us.
Tara says, they come here on behalf of Evergreen to negotiate with us, given the news of the retreat of the machine from our battlegrounds. I would have you all treat them with respect, and while their convictions to our cause are to be more confirmed, they have, in their short time here, done well by us in Hive Worms. You hear Piotr say, it's good to note. Welcome to the table. Then Primrose says, all right, let's get this on.
Good
Let's
voices,
see
I like.
rounds.
I enjoy this.
Il just gives like a nod, kind of posing the same posture that they are in. Tara starts in and gives a kind of like a almost like a speech to the crowd that's accumulated here. You get the sense that these are upper-ranking members of the Hyserian United Cities and special people of interest, i.e., Vainlucia, Bitter, Nosimbo, and Dethal. Tara says, thank you all for coming here. I know the trek was very long, but know that you are safe here in Hive Home. The machine is on the retreat. They advance on the Union settlement, Evergreen. The ones who we had thought were working with the machine. The question of the matter is, what are our next steps? Do we use Hive Home as a base from which we launch an attack? Do we prepare our defenses, insular, protect ourselves, and wait for the storm to crash upon Evergreen? Or is there another course of action? Ordo seems to butt in and almost cut Terror off. And it's probably like a weird sight. This is, Iller's like a modestly sized individual. They're probably like around 6 feet tall, quite muscular, and they look like a commander. But they're butting in on Terra's, Terra's like a very large, like buffalo type Egregorian, and they're butting in without any kind of regard. And Illar says, we must use this moment to attack when we can. We must kill Beggar One. Their casket must lay exposed. If they advance on Evergreen, this is our chance. Daylight, Michael Fields, and Hive Home, we will all use our forces that are sitting in United Cities to make this final strike. My father has been fighting this fight for 50 years. I will not see his efforts go in vain. Primrose says, you would sacrifice all of us? Michael Fields and Daylight will smaller colonies. This assault will cost Hyserian lives. And then Erler says, the prospect of finishing the battle outweighs the cost. Then Tara looks to you all. What our allies' perspectives. Can Evergreen hold out against the machine?
No.
Last we checked, they were having quite some issues. We haven't heard from them in a while, and we're not sure. We thought that their defenses were sufficient, and we hope that they can pull through. However, we are not 100% on any of it.
The pilots
You
they have
just-
at their disposal are well trained, but uninformed. They expect too little of Harsinia, and they're going to pay for it.
And you receives a quick little message on that data plate that's just a screen cap of Adina G's message of contingency white ...
Very unprepared.
Tara responds with, "You said no. You say they're disillusioned. You say they will surely fall." He looks, or they look to the rest of the Hysterian members of the commanders of the Hysterian United Cities and says, "What do you all say? They could be allies, or they, if we ought to take the words of those at the table with us, they will surely fall. What is our course of action?" And then Ilar says, "I don't need to say it again. We attack Beggar One now." And then Primrose says, he says, "We dig in. We use Hive Home as our base ground. And should the machine survive after attacking Evergreen, we'll use this city as a base of our defenses, protecting Daylight and Michael Fields." And then Piotr says, "I agree with that. We are very, very, well, Michael Fields, we don't have much to offer in terms of the Rangers and defenses. I think a defensive position is best. If we were to assault Beggar One now and fail, it would leave us open to an attack for sure."
If I may interject, I feel there is a third option, and many others probably that I haven't thought of, but we could assist Evergreen in the capacity of hoping that after receiving assistance, then we are stronger together, essentially. Also, I sincerely doubt the machine will risk itself when it attacks Evergreen. From my understanding, it doesn't need to be anywhere near the front lines.
Nice. After you say that, I will give the introduction of how this summit will go down.
Oh,
You all have three.
oh no!
Four
So many
clocks.
things. There's so many
Four
clocks.
Yes.
Wait, where are they?
There are
Bugger.
Everywhere.
all around.
Oh god,
They're
I had to
all
scroll out.
around,
I had to
man.
scroll
They're
out.
all around us.
Oh no.
There's around it, man. Game over, man.
There's
Game
a clock
over.
for Daylight. There's a 6-segment clock for Daylight, 6-segment clock for Michael Fields. There's a 10-segment concessions clock, which is just signifies the time limit you have for the summit. And then there is the Evergreen clock. You all need to be successful out of this to have 2 out of 3 of these clocks. I think, let me check real quick. Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, you need to complete 2 out of 3 of these clocks to be successful in rendering aid to Evergreen. You need 2 out of 3 of these to be successful in rendering aid to Evergreen. But you have essentially 10 checks to make. Originally, you would have had 8. You would have had 8 checks, but because you helped out Terror, In recovering the Egregorian eggs, you have 10 checks to make. You all can do several things to bring the Hysterian United Cities to your aid. And you can kind of direct it at certain people or whatever. Some examples of what you can do is hack into Hive Worms' ancient communication network to boost a signal of this summit, to project it to daylight into Machio Fields, presumably. Perform petty errands for secretary for the diplomatic favors. Learn more history about the conflict to use it as in their argument. You kind of have a little bit of that already. Gain favor of influential political figures. Those would presumably the Thal, Vane Lucia, Bitter. Sneak into an attache's office to rifle through their files. So you could, you've seen a lot of Primrose and Pre-Order's group or a company, or like their groups kind of arrive on in Hive Home too. So presumably they have like offices set up here in Hive Home. Or gain political support from the Egregorian population on Hive Home. You can kind of think of ways to do that. Once you decided what you want to do and what clock you are rolling towards, you will roll a d20. Bad things happen if it's 9 or less. Sort of bad things happen if it's 10 through 19. You gain 2+ on the goal clock of yours, but the concession clock ticks down to 1. On a 20+, you gain 3+ on the goal clock, and the concession clock ticks up 1.
Okay, this is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have?
Oh, actually, go ahead. Ask a question.
I was just gonna ask: is this kind of like basically like other narrative roles where we can use not talents but
Triggers.
triggers? Thank you.
Yep. You'll be using your triggers, definitely. Not all of you all have to be here. Some of you can leave, for sure, right? To do some of the things you would have to leave. This summit will be occurring for about a day or two. So there will be intermissions and breaks. You'll have time to talk with some of the other folks like Pre-Order and Primrose or some other people you want to talk to. Yeah. This is just kind of the introduction and to kind of get a feel for everyone's perspectives on the matter. Do you guys have any other questions? I gotta use the bathroom real quick.
Oh, you go to the bathroom and we'll
okay, cool.
plot some things.
Right. Okay, cool.
I don't think Infocane has really made their position known. It's just been some merc.
If you're saying Infocane as in the Infocane characters,
yeah,
I think we have conflicting opinions.
You do. But
I want to help Evergreen in the effort of getting the Hycinians and Evergreen to work as one.
Yeah,
but to my understanding, Kanya's down with the false god.
Yeah,
death to the machine.
Yeah. Yes, but he's also a pragmatist. He knows if with this many people and access to a fully operational printer, they have a real chance of not only dealing with whatever the fuck Beggar 1 is, possibly
I think Beggar 1 is supposed to be
They said an NHP casket, so
yeah, it's a casket. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's the big bad.
Yeah, so he's pretty sure that's the weird, creepy red thing he saw in his dream. But from a practical point of view, Queez already said it. We work better together.
Yeah, the
time
printer
to grab you by your neck like a small cat.
God. But no, the printer is a really good fucking point. If we're able to just shit out equipment, then we don't have to be relying on
the
even
issue with
GMS GMS pattern build them from scrap mechs.
The issue is that Hive Home has the numbers but not the resources, whereas Evergreen has the resources but not the numbers in terms of people who are trained and can fight.
Yeah, and it seems like most of them are dead by now, too, which is an issue.
I mean, they had to bring in fighters, and this is not a put
Oh,
down
and I'm
on
gonna walk
the-
my dog real quick. I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is
Okay.
this is not a put down on the on the militia of Evergreen, but it's a militia is very different. Having a militia is very different from having trained pilots.
You
Oh,
mean the
yeah.
militia that is largely in withdrawal from being drug addled
Exactly.
for? Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem.
We have
But,
ready
So,
and willing.
is this to say that Kanya is in his feelings but can be shifted?
Kanya is okay. I'll make the practical choice because it completes the mission. I'm not gonna be fucking happy about it, and I want Patience's head on a pillow.
On a pillow?
Hello. Oh, cute.
You wanna get a,
Oh,
you wanna have a
wanna
good
put him to
night's
bed
rest?
by.
Yeah.
I want the
bye,
pillow in my
forever.
hand. That's
Don't-
weird. It's a weird way to sleep.
Don't ask why the pillow smells like kerosene.
Oh no. Kaiser, what is your whole take, I guess?
I think Kaiser's would be he's kind of out of character in that he agrees with helping Evergreen to the extent that more like a smash and grab, like grab what we can of useful resources, people.
So grab the
And-
Grab
five
the whole ass
grab the
printer.
5 people we care about in a printer and get the fuck out of there.
and destroy the other printers because I don't think any of us can carry printers that are literally a building.
Yeah, no.
It's fine. We've got 2 size 2 mechs. It's fine.
Scott, like, from a not as gear, but as like, as a practical oversight, I guess. If that is how we've got to do it, scorched earth is the best policy because if the machine gets access to a full scale printer, that is us dead.
Yo,
Yeah,
if we can make
I-
any segments on these clock just by like pointing out facts, we got 2 real strong
Yeah.
ones there.
I know that was going to be something I was going to point out because I was honestly like waiting to hit them with the Q finally stops like being lost in thoughts and hits them with the what makes you think that if you let Evergreen fall, that the machine won't turn around and use those resources to come after you?
Yeah, there were a couple of them hoping that the machine would just die at Evergreen, but like the way the machine
No,
works is
it's-
by signal
It i-
boosters.
It is-
And
it's-
that means he's very fucking far away and doesn't need to be
Oh,
anywhere
I
near the front
interpreted
lines.
That,
It's
Yeah, I
also a
interpret it very
situation-
differently.
yeah, I interpreted
Oh,
me-
did
that
you?
they know the location of the casket and they're gonna strike it while it's distracted.
Oh yeah, that guy, the one that wants to attack. Yeah, that guy wants that. But there was the Southern Drawl guy that wants to hunker down. He was saying that he hopefully the machine just fucking dies at Evergreen.
Hunkering down is a dumb idea. I think
Yeah, it
I think
also-
going and attacking the casket, if that is what they meant, going and attacking the casket is a better idea. But the big
Yeah.
issue here is that you don't actually have resources, and what makes you think that the machine is going to deploy all of its resources in taking out a 3-legged dog
Yeah,
as
Piotr
and not
is
leave
the
anything to
one-
protect itself?
Yeah, Piotr is the one that wants to just attack Beggar One. Though
Would
that
be
seems to
highly
be
I thought that
at
was-
massive.
I thought that was the father, Ilwa.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Oh, it
it's
might
the
have been.
father. Yeah.
Well, one of these people wants to strike at the
Yeah.
enemy.
I think-
I think the resources idea is like a good counter to it. Though I think also there's the sacrifice that would be made by doing it, because that puts a lot of folks, particularly at Hive Worms, at risk because they don't have defenses, and most of them will be being thrown into the meat grinder because they don't have gear. Well, they have
Exactly.
gear,
It
but
is-
not gear.
Also, another thing is that the Rangers kind of seem scarce on people, but there's
Yeah.
people, militia, that could just come to Hive Worms and bring the engineers and
Yeah.
build weapons
There's-
and such.
That's
there's
another
an
thing.
Oh, we have to
anecdote.
save Chief Fielding. We need him.
Yes.
We need to save him.
There's also the added note because we've talked about the fact that Hive Home doesn't have the resources to do it, to necessarily attack the machine, even if they know where the machine is located. They don't have great resources to make that operation successful.
Yeah.
And we've gone over the fact that if the machine captures Evergreen, the machine will become even more powerful. It is a situation where the machine doesn't care about its losses. It when it kills, it gets stronger.
Yeah.
You've indirectly fed the beast.
Essentially, yeah.
But another point I'd like to make is that the Rangers for Hive Home were attacked by a new enemy from across the
Yeah,
continent.
I was gonna.
You are being pressed from multiple sides.
I was gonna in RP ask about that to the other guys. Like, are we
Yeah.
concerned? Did they know where Hive Home is? Should
E-
we
Even if
like
the
open
machine,
communications?
even if the machine and Saint are completely separate factions that have nothing to do with each other, which I would find surprising, it would not change the fact that striking out on your own means that you are striking out without resources. You are letting the enemy have better resources than you, and you are completely ignoring the fact that you are now waging a battle on two fronts.
Yeah.
Want to know how empires fall?
Yeah. There's also we need to properly rebut the hunkering down at Hive Home, because it's a subterranean city, right? The enemy
machine already
is a
figured out where your eggs
subterranean.
were.
Yeah, the machine is a subterranean enemy that can burrow, so it has no advantage of funneling because they'll just come up from wherever the fuck they want to come up from.
Well, it's also
So
a
there is
situation of-
no comprehensive way to defend Hive Home
I feel
sufficiently.
like
I have the dumbest idea.
oh,
I have an Omni hook. I boot up just a fucking stream in a version of the Matrix, the third movie, and just show them how badly Xeon went.
Oh, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
This is
What were you trying to
Xeon.
say, Kaiser?
I think I don't know if Shaka will know this, but Hive Home, the three cities have existed for like 500 years. They may feel overconfident. Maybe we need to counter that rebuttal because they're like,
Well,
oh,
yeah,
we've been doing this for 500 years. We're fine.
that's what I was gonna bring up. The situation is like, even if you're saying, "Oh, we can hunker down because the machine doesn't know where I am," the machine figured out where your ancient eggs were that you barely knew were, and that path is not such a winding path to get from there
Oh,
in
I
order
don't
to get
know
back to
Shaka
Hive
knows
Home.
this, but in the module, the machine does know where all the cities are.
Well, no,
I mean, yeah, it doesn't shock me that it
from
would.
their
Meta knowledge.
yeah,
Also, yeah,
I'm saying from their perspective, if they feel like that's an argument as to why they can hunker down, it's like even if it's true that the machine doesn't know where you are, the machine has gotten very close.
Also, we have all the modern knowledge of what an NHP is capable of.
Yeah,
absolutely.
These guys' ancestors were like were what, maybe like a couple hundred years after First Contact Accords. We now have all the modern knowledge of what an NHB is capable of with proper things like satellites.
Also, this one is also unshackled and doesn't give a fuck.
And also,
it's also SecCom, so it's got
Yeah,
the
but it's-
coding of a bastard.
it's gotten one modern NHP, and it
I
probably
really-
will get patience as well. So that's like,
I really hate
Oh,
the
yeah, it's
idea
been taking
of
control
code
of
it
them,
to be a
hasn't it?
bastard.
I
Oh.
mean, yeah, it's HA. Well, metagame knowledge. It's HA coding.
let's hope
But
that
from what we know, it's SSC
GMF.
coding, which is still pretty fucking scary.
yeah, it'd be funny if the machine absorbed patience and just became super incompetent.
Oh, that would be
All
great.
right. I'm back.
Absorb this mech to become an
Hey,
idiot.
Shaka.
Also,
I'm
the
back.
shock
we-
value of pointing at our mechs and say, "Hey, we built that in 2 hours."
Yeah. We have a few things. We don't necessarily need to RP it, but a few things to just point to.
Okay.
Before like we start doing rolls and shit. We need to address like the threat of Saint Tellus and all that, like war on two fronts, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So That's like a big one.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess we would ask them like if Saint Tellus is a threat worth dealing with. Should we open communications with them to try and dissuade them from launching attacks? Do they know where Hive Worm is, etc., etc.?
So you don't want to RP it, or you do? You do.
I can do either.
Okay.
Just
That's RP it.
Also, just before we get to that, it was just a question of you mentioned these roles. In terms of progress on clocks, how much progress on clocks can we get by just making good arguments? Or is
I'll
it
give you
not
accurate.
involved?
I'll give you accurate. Yeah, I'll give you accuracy on rolls if you make good arguments. The most you can progress on a clock is 3. On a 10 through 19, on typical success, you progress 2. On a 9 or less, you -1 on the concessions clock. So you have less time to make progress.
That's rough. As for a gamer perspective, who should be doing the roles? Gear sucks at this unless it's like I'm giving therapy to one of the people in private and I'm just like, yes, and then can roll well. But I think everyone else is better for this.
I'm really
keep
good
in
at
mind,
lead.
you guys have about 2 or so days.
Yeah.
To do all this. Yeah.
I'm really good at lead and inspire. So like, if we want to treat me as the mouthpiece for all of our points, I could do that since I literally can just be like, the way I always phrase it is I inspire fear or I lead people to make good choices.
You are equal.
Yeah, speaking of inspire fear, since it's 2 days, Kaiser's probably not going to be there. He's going to be out and about doing espionage stuff and threatening
espionage
people.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was mention of hacking. I'm good at that. I can do that.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask if Kanya could broadcast it as kind of like we shouldn't be making these decisions without the input of your people. So why don't we get your peoples in here, kind of deal?
We interviewed 100 Harsinians.
Yeah, we did an empirical study and we surveyed 100 Harsinians and we put them on Family Feud.
Believe the machine doesn't exist.
No. No flat earther Harsinians, please.
God.
I'll just remind you guys that there were some Harsinians that you all have met, right? You've met Bitter.
Yeah.
You did. Bitter's got a favorable opinion of you all. You've kind of swayed them in senses of like their outlook.
I was gonna ask about that too, because not only did we do the mission with Bitter, but if you recall, on our way to the mission, Bitter was asking. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. That would be like the gain popular support from Ecuadorian population. I think Bitter would be a good person to speak on that on your behalf.
There's also Poison.
Poison?
Or no, not Poison. Sorry, Venom.
Yeah.
And I was gonna see if Venom would also count towards that, since Venom is my BFF.
There's some things to know about Venom. I think that you over these 2 days will have opportunity to find out.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
I did have a question, but it slightly slipped my mind. Heck. It was something important.
Importante. Maybe you'll remember in a second.
Yeah.
Cool. So you asked the initial question about the St. Tellus and reaching out to them, and the caution of fighting a war on 2 fronts, right?
Yep.
Cool. Tara's going to respond and say, "Yes, St. Tellus, those aggressors, they are a known force. They also fight the machine. I continue to be connected to them in ways. They have another, like, endeavor that has a particular perspective on the machine and Union's past here on Arsinia. In summary, their perspective is the humans here on Arsenia, Assyrian or not, don't belong. And then you hear a bit of like grumbles from the crowd around, kind of congregating here. Tara says, quiet down, quiet down. We know that they are known, unknown, but we don't have the capabilities to reach out with them and invite them to the table to discuss.
So in the short range
How
time
would
frame, they are just another enemy.
Something to that matter, yes.
how would we acquire the means to reach out to them?
Tara says, maybe something you can discuss with Piotr. There, Michael Fields is most close in proximity to St. Telis. Most of their assaults have been upon that city. Piotr says, yes, we've run with them before, but we don't know what their next move may be. I will note, contacting them could incur risk.
Risk?
Yes, risk in the term, in the sense that once they know, we are, or rather have a vulnerability. We are weak. We need their assistance. They could launch an attack at any moment.
Ah,
You
I
guys get
see.
the sense that Piotr, Michael Fields is very undefended. It's not like Hive Home, kind of like stationed underground and has a large population and such. It's half underground, half above ground, and it's close to the coast, and it is a prime target for any assaults. It's an amazement and a wonder that the machine hasn't taken advantage of this.
Okay. Between the players, I guess, would it be worth us suggesting that they evacuate the more vulnerable settlements temporarily to ensure the least amount of people dying? I.e.,
Yes,
evacuate Michael Fields.
Yes, and I believe that was part of what's on the table in the idea of using Hive Home as
Hive
a
Home.
staging ground.
Okay, yeah.
I believe that's already partially on the table.
All right. Cool. Is it feasible to evacuate Michael Fields temporarily in the efforts of maintaining population?
Piotr responds, it's a possibility, yes. We could evacuate while the long trek here to Hive Home would leave us exposed. We would surely lose many of our own.
Also, on that note, I know some of you are fairly interested in making Hive Home a fortress. I don't know how effective that can be because the machine is very capable of moving underground, and that makes the benefits of causing, funnels and kill zones, that sort of thing, it negates it. So defending here will be incredibly difficult.
To back this up, Kanya puts forward the footage of not only the massive hole full of machines we dealt with, but as well as all the evidence of rapid excavation that we've noticed along our track, and evidence of machine-based subterranean warfare from Union's history.
Yeah.
Ilar, Dethal's father, kind of bangs their hand on the table, kind of knocking over some of the pieces that Terra set up that illustrate the forces of Evergreen and the cities and the machine. And he says, all the more reason that we should launch an attack. Hive Worms, as it stands, we don't have the forces to maintain our borders and maintain the borders of Daylight and Malgol Fields. We must make an assault on Beggar 1 post-haste.
And
Oh,
yet again, that runs into a new issue.
yes.
Brings up, again, scrolls through the footage. He's unburied, it has unburied
Ah, fuck.
billions. And I mean a truly staggering number of old world machines to his cause. He doesn't
There's
need all of it to take on his attempt on Evergreen. The idea that he's unguarded or even weakened his defenses for this assault is ludicrous.
There's also worth mentioning that Hive Home doesn't have the resources for an effective attack. We would take far too many casualties if we were to attack now. However, if we had the resources of Evergreen, such as the printers, which will be able to amass quite a significant amount of military hardware that will not only save lives, but also make our attacks more effective. There's an added benefit to that, in that if we do have Evergreen's printers under our control, the machine doesn't have it. Because if the machine has access to those printers and satellites and all this, a lot will go wrong.
How long does it take you to make a mech? A fully functional mech?
12 hours?
Ilar responds with first what you said before Kanya. Ilar responds, casualties. They are but a whim in the air. No amount of loss of life can amount to the outcome of victory. Killing
Victory
the
is
machine here,
assured.
nothing is assured.
And victory will never come to you if you lose all your people in one half-cocked attack.
We'll lose our people if we don't act.
I agree that we do need to act, but it is not right now because we don't have the resources.
But please, how long does it take you and yours to make a mech?
Some months.
My mech was built in 2 hours.
I'm listening.
This guy.
I would like to try and boost the communication network to try and link it to
idea.
and try and link it to our and essentially try and link up and give them a full visual of the compound and load that with a blueprint readout and sort of like list of specifications, essentially given like, this is why we need the printer.
Okay. What do you have on as far as pilot gear?
I have my Omni hook, data plating, and info skin.
Yep, that's all you need. OmniHook. Cool. This sounds like a roll. Sounds like a good roll. No difficulty associated with it. What trigger do you plan on using?
Hacker fix.
Hacker fix.
Because I'm assuming they haven't. That's an excellent question. I guess this is Evergreen because it's just an argument as to why we should save Evergreen.
Agreed.
Okay. Can I get an accuracy for me and Gear just laying down facts?
Yeah, fucking going in on that shitty plan.
I feel like it took my mech 2 hours to get built. An accuracy.
Yeah, that one line is enough to be like, okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good. I think that's a good. Yeah, it's a good argument.
The argument is they could also build a mech in 2 hours if you let them have it.
Yeah, also the whole
I think
the machine has this, he'll be just shitting mechs out.
I think that's somewhat the implication where it's like yeah, it took me 2 hours to build this. If the machine gets it, and they've been getting forces like thousands of forces just by digging them up. What happens when they now have a printer, multiple printers?
Yeah, totally. That's the
Uh,
biggest thing is like if they have a printer. Go ahead.
Also,
Honey.
there'd be modern tech instead of, old rusted shit.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
So scary.
okay. Here.
Yeah,
21,
21.
21.
Oh, I didn't see it for some reason.
Nice. Clappy. I'll take a little screen cappy for you.
Why don't I see it? I don't understand.
I don't know.
There you
It's
go.
in chat.
It's in the chat now.
Let me refresh real quick.
You are fast with an edit tool. Jesus.
I just use
I
snipping tool,
know.
the old version, which is amazing. Do not update Windows to lose it. It's fucking oh, it's such a gem because you just control V and the thing you've snipped, and it's there.
I think
Cool.
they changed the hotkey, but it's still there.
Yeah, with a 21, you raise your clock on the Evergreen clock to 3. You gain 3+ for your goal and 1+ in concessions. So concessions
just
are
didn't
now
spend one?
yep, concessions are now at 11. Oh yeah, you didn't spend one. Well, actually, it's at 11. No,
Okay.
we'll just say you didn't spend one. We'll say you didn't spend one.
This one, you see, it
Wow.
goes up to 11.
Pimping us out of a thing. Wow.
Yeah, it's a 10-segment clock. So yeah.
It's got eight segments on the.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's supposed to be 10 segments. Let me fix that real quick.
Yeah, because that's what we got for doing the eggs.
Let me see. Glancer clock resources. Oh, it can only go up to, I don't know why this thing. Oh, there it is. 10. Sweet. Cool. Let me pop.
Wow, it's so big.
I'm blind.
So nerd.
I was
The
way
big
too
blue
zoomed
beast.
in. I was way too zoomed in. It's very
There you
dark
go.
in my room.
Cool. Yeah. So you say that, and you boost the signal to. Okay. Explain to me what you're doing again.
Essentially, I've boosted their signal so that it can link up with my personal database, and I just have dumped all relevant information to printers, the current blueprint. If Kaiser will let me dip into his stuff a little bit that I may or may not have backdoored into. Essentially, camera footage of like the areas around. It's like these are all the reasons of, and also the how of defending and maintaining and running a printer. We need this.
Cool. Well, you learned some interesting things. And before we break for this intermission, the things you learn are as you throw your Omni hook on the table, kind of projecting the blueprints of Evergreen and the kind of diagnostics of the printer and such. There are several images that pop up projected to everyone here in this room. You see clearly Evergreen
Now
has
the
fallen.
rain is gone.
Evergreen has fallen. The force of the machine you see as some of the buildings around within Evergreen have appeared to be destroyed, and some of the colony is flooded by 3 or 4 meter high water. The governor's farm, what looks like there's an ongoing battle, and you're getting snippets of information here. Governor's farm appears to be breached. There's no sign of contingency white from the kind of initial views from the image that you're getting. You also get updates on the printer. It looks Evergreen's printer. It looks like there are some machine forces outside of the mech hangar, or just the hangar on Evergreen, but you don't get the sense that they're printing out new mechs yet, as most of the mechs outside of the governor's farm look old and dug up.
So, I suppose this is my question, because this is a very important question now. Is Evergreen genuinely completely fallen, or is it like they are on their last leg? It is like the last holdout, Alamo style.
Last leg. There are you get some notes of like battles occurring through the city. There's a battle in the city right now. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, so it's pretty much.
Would they last would they last 2 days of deliberation? Since it's implied that this is going to take 2 days.
Yeah. Is it going to
Maybe.
be dead? Oh, fuck's sake.
Maybe.
We have to fill
So,
these clocks faster.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Shocker. You're all like, oh, you have 2 days. You got plenty of
Yeah,
time,
2
and
days.
then just
I'll
drop
just
this
go
on us.
Well, this is the first time you've picked in on like Evergreen's like the situation there.
Shaka's just like objective survive.
I guess you all would also pick up too, like their in your last contact with Evergreen and the colonies, the kind of cities and settlements outside of Evergreen, there were some refugees that were massing around the perimeter. Most of those tents and camps from the images you see have been destroyed. You do see dead people around the borders of Evergreen, but you also see get the sense that some of them have escaped and kind of migrated to Evergreen's the kind of outside boundaries of the city.
So I'm sure
With this footage being displayed quite prominently, Gail will probably note that their situation seems rather dire, more dire than I expected. I don't think we have 2 days worth of deliberations to make decisions here.
As you say that, Primrose Camarandt of Daylight is going to say, "You see, you better act now, or we're going to lose one of the whole reasons we're here."
It seems that is the case, judging by the footage.
But I'm sorry, I'm still a little undecided on whether or not aiding Evergreen is our best option. I say we sit and wait out the situation.
I have a question.
You said you're undecided, yet you just said a decision. I understand that Evergreen and the Egregorians, well, Hive Worms, Michael Fields, and Daylight, have a very sordid past with them. However, it is a complicated past, one that is wrapped up in a lot of misinformation on their part by their NHP governor. However, the people there are not savages. They're not, they're just to kill you all or anything insane like that. They are genuinely just people like you and I that are caught up in something out of their control. And they are in a very dire situation, one that has grave repercussions for Hive Worms and the 2 other colonies if they were to fall. The machine with access to a full printer, which it seemingly doesn't quite have yet, will be quite dangerous.
I put up
As you can
footage
see
of
from
I put up footage of a Barbarossa firing an apocalypse rail.
Imagine the machine with that kind of hardware. It's not a good look for us.
Prider says, not Prider, Primrose says, "I see your point, though I'm not certain our force could, even if we did want to aid Evergreen and take back this printer, prevent these machines of war from firing their weapons. I'm not even sure we'd be able to do it."
It would be very difficult, I'm sure. However, with the expertise of the Hassanin Rangers and some of your other elite forces that I have noticed, with our help as well, I think it would be possible. Evergreen would definitely have quite a sizable morale boost seeing the machines that are banging on their doors blowing up, so I think they would, regroup and push forward. I think it is possible. Difficult, possible.
Iller says, Dethal's father says, "You see, Prider and Primrose, our allies think we can do it. Now's the time. if we were able to take hold of this printer, bolster our forces, we can make the final assault on Beggar 1.
Shaka, I had a question. 2 questions, actually. Question 1 was mainly just how did the calling upon people who we already had good relationships with here work exactly? Like going back to Bitter. How would calling upon Bitter work exactly?
You could just call him up right now, or it seems like the kind of initial stages of the summit are kind of concluding. The initial stages, it's like people are getting ready to kind of people from Daylight, people from Mike Allfields are getting ready to kind of take back their commanders and kind of discuss things a little bit and compare battle notes and stuff. So you can also bring Bitter back during the next reconvening.
Okay. Okay, if there's gonna be some kind of break in us being together, then that kind of answers my second question. So yeah.
Cool.
Do,
Go ahead, Gear.
does Katipe want to try a roll with Lead and Inspire by jumping onto what Gear's saying and Gear and Kanye are saying and being like, now is the time to help our allies or some Katipe kind of shit? What is more dangerous?
If Qtepi talks.
Yosimba will be watching patiently, listening patiently to what you and Kanye may say.
Qtepi has been lost in his thoughts for this entire time. In this entire time, but I do feel like he's probably gotten to the point where he is going to speak up. As what is Ilya?
ILLR. I mean ILLYR. LR.
Ilar. He is whose father again?
That's all.
I've closed all the things. I've closed all the names, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do that too. And then I forget who's who, and I wish I could click on the characters and be like, oh, that guy.
It's less that like I've forgotten who they are, and more so just like I don't know their names anymore.
Yeah.
Ilar is the Thal's father.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Oh man. I know that I am personally being asked to do one thing, but I think it's time for Qtepi thing.
Okay, yeah, sure, go off.
Go off, King.
As you're about to speak, you see Tara kind of move around the pieces on the board in response to what you all have been saying already about the importance of securing Evergreen's printers. And he moves some of the pieces that represent the Syrian Rangers from Hive home closer towards Evergreen.
Q kind of
They do it. Sorry.
You're fine. Q, as Ilar is like going off, they kind of start chuckling to themselves until it's a little bit too loud to kind of disregard, and then they snap their head towards Ilar and kind of lock in on them, and Q says, "You are the fool among those at the table, no?"
The next check you guys make is difficult. Ilar says, do you want my response, or are you just making thoughtless comments?
Observations, actually. And Q will kind of readjust himself, now paying a closer mind at the table. And he says, "You have heard what my allies have spoken, yet you are ravenous, like a starved dog, barking at the prospects of war.
Oh fuck! Why'd you let him talk? Why'd you let him talk?
Chosen violence.
Hey, I should have never asked.
You fucked up, kid.
It was just like, oh no, hand on the face, just.
Go ahead, Kitepi.
Yeah, Kitepi going off. Sorry, guys.
Oh, was that all you had to say?
No, I have more. He then turns and looks towards Primrose and says, You have seen what the machine will be capable of once it has its hands on the printer. Yet you still feel unsure, no?
That's correct.
But perhaps I can clarify somewhat for you. The machine is not like you or I or even Terra here. The machine feeds off war. Doing nothing, letting Evergreen fall, it is as exactly the same as handing the machine the keys to your kingdom. Do you think that it will simply, get bored of you? Forget that you are here? No. Once it has the printers, it will be all the more powerful, and it will surely come to thank you for the gift you allowed to fall in its lap. If it is,
Good.
yeah, that's my big comment. I do kind of want to see if I can make a roll.
Yeah, you can totally make a roll. You can totally make a roll.
I have more to say, but I also just don't want to sit here talking forever.
No, you're good. Yeah, I think right click your theater thing.
Oh, I don't know why. Sorry, apologies.
Oh, you're good. You'll probably get a response from Primrose, noting that they have fought the machine for many years now, and they've survived Union's assaults from the Hessianian crisis, and they are survivors, and they can survive the machine's forces even if Evergreen falls.
And you think the machine does not learn? I would Q kind of question that, like, you survived this long, yes, I give you that, but if you think the machine has not learned, then you would be as foolish as the other one at this table.
Okay.
But no, I don't necessarily want to say it exactly like that, but more so just that, yes, I admit that you have survived, but the machine has only grown more powerful, and I would talk about how we encountered machine forces while we were recovering the eggs. That's it, and make a point of emphasizing how close that clutch of eggs was to Hive Home. Hive Home, the settlement that is, to my understanding, largely considered the most well protected. If Hive Home is being considered a potential staging ground for a war with the machine, in my head that means Hive Home's the most protected. And if the machine forces have already landed like less than a rock's throw away from Hive Home, what makes you think that the machine hasn't been learning this entire time, isn't getting stronger, doesn't know where you are?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You get the sense that Primrose is being intentionally ignorant of those of the notes about how close the machine is. But yeah, this sounds like a roll. I will make it difficult though because of the.
I'm getting difficulty, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yes, because you insulted the fuckers.
Yeah,
Can I try
Y'all
and help?
stupid.
Can I try and help him with visual cues? I don't know, man.
Nah, this thing is difficult. You said what you said. Give me a difficult roll. What trigger?
I believe.
Lead inspire always.
And then what clock are you using? Are targeting?
I guess
I
Um,
feel like that's still
Evergreen,
Evergreen, right?
Yeah, I guess it's still Evergreen.
it's like
Okay.
urgently about like getting the printers and shit.
Remember, you guys
Currently-
need 2 out of 3 clocks filled up to end the concession. I mean, the
Yeah.
summit.
We got
Peter
our
and
concessions, though.
Fire.
We're gonna
I
be okay.
don't. Okay, I see. Wait, what? There we go. That was a little bit confusing. I will make this roll.
This shows up. On
Yeah, thing about Kutepi don't miss.
I don't know
I
why the
mean,
rolls are showing up on my end. What is it?
It's 14.
It's a 14.
Cool. 14. You get a 2+ on your clock goal and -1 in concessions. You may additionally take another -1 concessions to fill an extra segment for your clock goal.
Yeah, I'll take another -1. Let's just fill up Evergreen. I'm done talking.
Alright.
I am done talking about the. I am done talking about the potential benefit of saving Evergreen. It's obvious.
I would agree. Cool. So then that clock goes down to 10.
I swear, it's not going to be the machine that kills you. It's going to be an aneurysm from their allies.
Gear's just looking at Kutepi like, you're better at talking, right? How about you tell them something, Kutepi, immediately? Y'all some fucking ignorant ass.
Kanye's just sitting there smiling. It's like, it's fine. He's got it.
Cool. So yeah,
Those people in Gear are just sitting there clutching their hearts like,
Yeah.
oh god.
You say that. You make your case plain. While you do put some honest jabs at some of the Hassuni United Cities members here, they are jabs in coming from a good place, and that it's so immensely important that the Hassuni United Cities unite to help Evergreen. Terra responds with, "Yes, you see, we see," and you get some, I guess, Kaiser, you get some subtext from the we. This is something that you're interpreting from Witness, is that we, even the ones that are dead, see. We see Evergreen and its capabilities are useful, while the population are left to be considered as foe or friend. What exists, the infrastructure, is quite vital to our assault, all future efforts against the machine.
So,
We will aid Evergreen, and we will aid you all.
Gear is itching to jump in on the whole friend for a bit and just sort of.
Kanye sort of does the side eye of, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
yeah. I had a question about that actually.
Actually, hold on. Oh yeah, hold on. Tara is gonna say, that was enough discussion for now. We will give a moment to our allies from Daylight and Michael Fields to regroup. We will reconvene in 30 minutes. Feel free to indulge yourselves in conversation. I will be here comparing and projecting battlefield maneuvers. All right, go ahead, Q.
My question was just very specifically about like the Daylight and Miso Fields. Is that supposed to be like reference to mushrooms? Anyway, my question was about what are their tables revolved around, or rather, what are their clocks revolving around in particular? Like I know Daylight, I know that Evergreen was about saving Evergreen, but
yes. Primrose Camarandt, Daylight, his wants are to dig in for defensive with Hive Worms and use it as a fallback. And you would get the sense from the conversation that anything that revolves around risky moves of attack are something that he doesn't like. So pretty much anything that Ilar says, he doesn't like.
yeah, great for me because anything Ilar says, I don't like.
Yeah, anything. Okay, so Protor from Michael Fields is the smallest of the 3 United Cities, and Piotr will pretty much side with anyone who seems to be carrying the weight at the summit. So anyone who
I
seems
see.
strong, anyone who has like a good.
So what you're saying
argument.
is get Daylight to ally with me, and
Yeah.
Myself Fields will follow. Got it. I can do that.
And then the Piotr Heidel hates anything that leaves them defenseless. Also, they hate outside actors. Outside actors in terms of even you all, even say Tellus, like anything that they can't predict or he can't predict, he doesn't like.
Yeah. The guy from Michael Fields is the one that
man.
was going on about how his father had been fighting the fight, right?
No, that's
That's Alar.
yeah.
That's Alar.
Oh, okay. Alar's not particularly useful for getting these points from a gamer perspective.
Yeah, Alar
That's
is
not great.
Alar has largely been dealt with, as in we have directed his fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly to myself.
Alar, you get to get the sense that
Alar's about to box me in the
would-
streets as soon as I
would-
leave.
Alar would
I guess-
agree with. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go.
Yeah, Alar would agree with the aiding of Evergreen, but the aiding not in the sense of taking the printer, the aiding in the sense of getting everyone's forces together at one place and then directing them at Beggar One's castle.
Yeah, he's a war dog. But I guess I could try talking to the leader of Daylight and try and like therapy at them, because they've got the whole refusal to see the situation as it is and are stuck in their sort of own head about like how you're survivors, you'll be fine.
I really hate
Yeah.
how Gear's like, you have a terrible case of disillusionment. Allow me to
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So that sounds good. Primrose is going to, of Daylight is going to maneuver over to some of the refreshments, kind of in the top right corner of the auditorium here. Gear, you can follow them.
Sure.
Kaiser, what do you want to do?
Bitter is the tea person, right?
That's Winter.
Winter's not here, are they?
Winter is not here, but you can go out and find them.
What did
Bring in
Winter do
Winter.
again?
Yeah.
Are they the voice of the people?
What did Bitter, you said?
Winter.
Winter is just an old Egregorian war form with Alzheimer's, essentially.
Probably not useful.
It's not
Sorry, I thought
particularly.
something
It's
stupid.
a disease. It's a disease. It's serious. It's serious, man.
No,
Wait,
it's serious.
Can we
I
get
just thought
can we
something
get Greer
stupid.
to do a patch check and fix his Alzheimer?
I don't know if that's something that Gear can do. I don't think that's anything anyone can do.
I feel like
We have
in the
modern
future they might.
technology and nanobots. Anything is possible.
We have
Nanobots,
the
son.
technology. We can fix him.
What'd you say, Kaiser?
Oh, what was that?
What'd you say?
Let's see. I think the more scaredable one. I believe that's Fields, right?
Yes, Michael Fields. Yeah.
I think Kaiser's gotta make use of his ability. Well, actually, no. It's only 30 minutes. Never mind. I think.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
I think he wants to leave the concessions and make some errands around. In that he's gonna.
Yeah. You can do that. That's fine.
By errands, I mean like espionage and taking people out, disabling things and like threatening people with like letters in their homes. It'd be like, it'd be good for you if you supported Iliard.
Yeah. I think this sounds like you would know where Michael Fields, Piotr's mobile kind of like embassy offices here on Hive Home. You know that he's accompanied by an attaché of folks, similar to like what Adina G serves to patients. You can go there and see what you get into.
Yeah, he's
Just
gonna use his
suggesting
ability.
Are you just suggesting a really threatening version of please contact your senator about this?
It's the I'm no longer asking again. Pulls out gun. Give me the
Cool.
money for the campaign.
Kanye, what do you want to do?
Um. La, you want to do a scene with Legion, and I'll figure it out after that.
All right, cool. Let me move you out there with Legion, and then Kitepi, what do you want to do?
I would like to, if possible, find 2 people and talk to them. Like I said, if possible. Namely, I would like to find. God, I've already forgotten everyone's names. The child of the one guy at the table. Let me see him.
Oh, Dethal.
Yeah, Dethal. I'd like to go talk to Dethal, and if they would come with me, I would like Dethal and I to talk to Venom. Venom.
And I've
Cool.
actually,
Keep doing it.
when you guys are done with that, I have figured out what I want to do.
Okay. Cool. So Kitepi, you find out one thing that Psalm is his name. I think I spelled that wrong. Or Venom call sign is there in the crowd. Seemed they walked in late as you all were discussing with the other Hessinian folk. You mosey on by. First, you stop by Dethal. You mosey on by with Venom, you mosey on by with Dethal, and then she groups with you and Venom. And you ask them to have a little chat. So we're going to put you there in the pews with Psalm and Dethal and yourself. All right, Kanye, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna go around essentially with my with like just the set of tools for my mech and see about repair or service aging weapons and systems for mechs of the emissaries. So I want to give the equipment
Nice.
that Primrose brought with him a facelift.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Very
Cute.
cool.
I like that. It's really cute.
Hey, I spruced up
right,
your mech. Don't ask me why it talks now.
Cool.
Ernar.
So one thing happens as you all break for intermission. You see, as Nosimbo was quietly kind of watching and listening to everything you all said, maybe having some guttural reactions to what Kitepi said, the insulting of Ilar. Yeah, you all, as you all kind of leave the table, Nosimbo looks like she gets up quite violently. Kind of gets up from her seat. She was very calm and composed, but she gets up quite violently, looking at her Mbumbu Zulo, which was projecting some information to her. She looks at you all, makes eyes with you all, and runs outside of the auditorium, the summit here.
The militia leader.
My Mfagane allies.
I looked at them immediately. The militia leader. They were close, weren't they?
You look to Nosimbo?
Sort of as she's running away, just sort of like as a moment of epiphany to like the rest of the group. Hey, wasn't she friends with such and such? Oh shit, she was friends with such and such. I forgot her.
Oh wait, I'm a little confused. Like, what are you
Brava.
asking? Okay. She kind of pauses mid stride and says, "No, Ganya. Shaka aboard the Naikamubi has activated. I will be back soon."
Just look straight ahead.
Everybody gangster till Shaka activate.
So you all know that Shaka, the Naikamubi was parked way outside of the system, one of the distant planetary bodies, way far away from Hycinia.
Oh no! Wait.
And Shaka only activates on missions like these. Shaka only activates when there's an imminent threat in the nearby. It didn't activate when the crisis response team arrived, but it's deciding to act for whatever reason. Is deciding to activate now, and Nosimbo is left to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Sure, no. Anyway,
Shaka got to start a war with like some poor Union field team.
Who knows? Who knows?
Starfield team just chilling out, just exploring the galaxy, and then this giant ship just. Grrr.
Cool.
Is this the appearance of someone whose name starts with red and ends with oo?
No. The galaxy's too big.
Okay.
Cool. We will zoom in as the screen kind of focuses in on Gear and Primrose Camarandt of Daylight.
Okay.
You see Primrose kind of indulging in some fruit here at the table, kind of eating
Big
to
ass pears.
themselves, and yeah, eating to themselves, and like kind of looks like they're almost muttering to themselves when you approach Gear. What do you say?
Do I catch what they're muttering?
No, it's just unintelligible. I think that's the word.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, guess I'll start with like saying hello, something like that. What's the name? Sorry. It is okay. Excuse me, Primrose.
Yes. What was your name
Uh,
again?
Gear.
Gear. Where are you from?
I am from a station that no longer exists out in the middle of nowhere. But I work with the Empacane.
So outside the system, huh? You seem to have a lot of opinions of it.
Yes.
Of a Sinian, but you're not.
Yes, and I realize this. However, I am here strictly to help the Husinians survive this crisis.
Well, speak your mind. What do you got?
Well, I was actually hoping to talk to you about how you are thinking and feeling, specifically regarding survival. You seem very sure about the fact that you will survive and you will get through it. I just want to find out where that comes from.
You got that right. You see, way back when, some 50 years ago, when the machines started to surface, this beggar one, whatever the fuck it is, a demon, you ask me. We were the first to encounter beggar one and its armies, and we fought them back. We ran, we hid. Daylight, the colony we have, is actually our third iteration. We've moved 2 more times, always been able to avoid the forces of the machine. They move slow, and I think that's some limitation, some weakness of theirs. We can move again and move again and move again. It's a way of life. I'd rather not risk the lives of our Gregorians and our Hassinians to some wishful prospect of assault.
How long do you think you can evade them for?
Well, I'm about as sure in my prospects of evading as I'm sure you all are sure in saving Evergreen.
That's not particularly clear. Sorry. How long do you think you can evade the machine for?
I think I can evade them or I think Daylight can evade them for as long in perpetuity, I guess.
You guess?
I don't know the situation. The revelation that once the machine acquires this printer y'all are talking about, that could complicate things.
Yes. It will definitely be an issue, to say the very least. Now, I did want to ask if you were open to the idea of moving Daylight's population here temporarily until the machine is dealt with.
He kind of sits there and takes one of the fruits and kind of chews on it for a little bit. It seems like some of the juices are getting stuck in his mustache, and it's almost like a little funny sight. But they respond back and say, well, that's not a question I can answer. That's something Ilar would have to confirm. I'd be happy to move Daylight's populations to Hive Home, a more defensible location. They've hoarded the resources of the HUC for some time now, if you ask me.
I see. Well, to be clear with you, while the nomadic lifestyle that Daylight has taken on has worked for now, I believe that's because the machine had other things it wanted to deal with. I believe that once it does have what it needs, while you might evade for a little while, it won't take very long.
That's true. And I've come to that potential realization. But my question is to you. You work for Infocane or whatever. Why don't y'all just come on down here and fight this fight for you? It's your mess. Clean it up.
So that's where it gets a little complicated, and from what I've discussed with some other Hessinian folk, there's a lot of missing information. So, from what I've gathered from my time here, it was SecCom who colonized and had done awful things to you and your people. However, SecCom is no longer the controlling force. It is now a different sort of union, ThirdCom, which is a lot different. It's focused on essentially, what are the three pillars again? Fucking hell.
It's like people can move anywhere they want to. That's the only one I know.
Yeah, hand wave because I can't remember them. The three pillars. They just explain like the sort of utopian ideal sort of goal that Union has now, and that they are very, very intense about violations of sentient rights, essentially, and that they had only heard rumors of things going wrong on Hercinia. And now that they have confirmation, they might be able to get help, but it would take a while. So, with the pressing sort of urgency of the situation, it'll have to be down to essentially us, quote unquote.
Okay, cool. Primrose says, all right, I get what you're saying. So this new union, they're better than the last, as you put it. And all we got at our table is you four and Evergreen. Do I understand that correctly?
Well, and of course yourselves. But until we obtain the printer, that is what we have. Once we do have the printer, though, it'll be a bit better.
All right. Well, let me throw this back at you. I'm inclined to believe everything you say. But let me bend your ear for a little bit.
Of course.
What I need for my people on Daylight is a safe evacuation route to Hive Home. And if you can't secure that, you've got no deal.
I will try my best.
Talk to Lar. He'll be the one you want to talk to.
Okay. Gil will give a nod and go to therapy session 2, I guess.
How do you feel about anger
will,
management?
Primrose will take a final bite of their pear type thing and then throw it half bitten at you for you to catch. He says, all right, you can make this happen, you can consider us friends and allies.
Okay, cool. It's good to hear that. I will try my best to get the people of Daylight safely here.
Cool. All right.
Would I
So,
be able to roll a patch for my successful therapy, or?
yeah. Oh, yeah. You can. Yeah, this is definitely a check.
Cool,
So
wonderful.
this is like a check to it's check against the daylight clock.
Okay. Any accuracy from that, or no?
Nah, it sounds like a flat roll
Okay.
with your trigger bonus. What trigger are you using? Oh, you're using
Patch, because it was therapy. I broke their delusion. Obviously, I'm great at therapy.
What other triggers do you have?
Okay, let me grab them. Alright, I have investigate, patch, stay cool, survive, and word on the street. I'd say that considering they were pretty solid in their we can survive it forever kind of idea, and now they're sort of softened on that and like, yeah, we're probably gonna die, but that's not fun to think about sort of vibe. I feel like patch might be appropriate, but obviously it's up to you.
Yeah, I think patch, because it's a roundabout way of getting at it, will come in at a difficulty, or you can just roll flat.
Word on the street could also work. You've literally just picked up a ton of information, giving you like a better idea of how these people work as a society, and are now making steps to essentially bring that viewpoint to someone else.
Yeah, it could work.
Okay. I don't know about that one.
Alright, I'll go patch at difficulty because my patch is +6 and difficulty is maximum -6. So at worst situation, we'll just turn into a flat roll, which is what I have if I don't take patch. So
cool.
Alrighty.
Roll the dice. Oh god, I can't see your fucking dice. I don't know why.
Oh,
it's
never
19.
did.
24.
24 total.
24?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Shaka. I'm sorry that we're just really good at this.
No, this is good. This is good. This is very good.
I insulted someone and still succeeded.
So, mathematically, because of that, we now have the possibility of filling up all of these.
We do. That'd be wild.
Because that just got us back a concession.
Oh, it did get you back in concession. You're right.
Yay.
Also, I don't know if that was ever supposed to be anything but full, but on my screen it has remained full.
I
so
changed it to a 8 segment thing. Plastered the 8 one over it.
God. Foundry is definitely bugging because I've put down like new ones on it. I think you have to refresh because I'm not seeing the rolls and you guys aren't seeing the new clock.
If it makes you feel better, Shaka, I don't see the roll gear just made, and I think that's because I didn't have Foundry like open. I was on a different thing.
I don't even know what the fuck's wrong with Foundry.
I've been receiving everyone's rolls. I think Foundry might just be a little wonky today.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to. It might be. I don't know what it is. Honestly, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm just gonna reload Foundry, see how that goes.
I'm going to.
Yeah, I see it.
I'll do the chat with Ilya later after other people do stuff because I also need to refresh myself up on how to talk with someone with anger issues. I'm literally like every time I do these scuffed therapies because I haven't actually got a therapy degree or anything. I've been just googling how to talk with someone with delusions. It helps. It's been working.
I like it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure therapists everywhere say, "Do not do what you're doing," but that's fine.
This is potentially unethical.
Oh God.
Cool. Let's skip to Qtepi and Psalm and Dethal. Qtepi, as you meander over, bringing Dethal and
very quickly, Shaka, I did have a question because I didn't know how many people I could reasonably gather. If I could have Bitter 2, like Bitter's just as much a part of this as Psalm or Thal.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine. Let's move you over to this area over here. I don't know if you guys can see me move your tokens or not.
I've created a clock. It's if you check the characters under deployables, I've made a clock. You can
Oh.
do that now apparently.
Weird characters.
Yeah, look at it.
Labels.
I think you should be able to see if I make changes.
That's weird. Okay, cool.
Absolutely wowed.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, so you've got 3 Hycerians with you. What do you want to say?
Oh, God, I'm so blind. I didn't see Bitter. I was like, where about Bitter? Bitter's just sitting here blending into the rocks. First of all, I apologize to the Thal. It's kind of like, yeah, sorry I called your dad a fool, but we do not have time for these petty arguments. The time for war will come, but we must know who our enemies are. I have pulled you all together because I trust that you know my spirit. And so you know that I do not take lightly. I want you to know that I do not lightly claim that while there are those who must be redirected, the people of Evergreen are as much of your allies as I or any of those on my team. And I kind of look to Psalm and do my open chest gesture like brother of my brother, and then Bitter. And I'm like, you recall what I told you of my people, no?
Yeah, Bitter says, I see where you're coming from, Q-Teppy Nav. Yes, I know the reason you speak of. But I don't hold stature in this congregation, but I can lend support. I am unsure alone if I am enough to sway those of our leaders. Then Psalm says, Kutepi, whatever you decide to do, I've met you in combat. I know your heart, so to speak. I will lend my hand and my mech to whatever it is you decide to do. Dethal, can you agree? And Dethal says, while your harsh words to my father were harsh, so to speak, I agree with my fellow Icenians. If there's a course of action you see most fitting, I'll be willing, emphasis on willing, to aid my support.
Q kind of sighs, almost as though like kind of the way you sigh when you're taking off a heavy burden, kind of that level of relief. And he looks down and kind of seems to think something over, and a moment later he looks up and he says, my friends, my siblings in these trying times, I only ask now for your voice. Bitter, you say that you are not high-ranking, but you are Hycinian, where I am perceived as an outsider. You, all 3 of you are the people, the spirit, the hearts and minds of not only Hive Home, but the Hycinians as a whole. And kind of just, I am almost effectively trying to ask all of them kind of like for their own testimonials, with the specific intention of like not only being like, hey, trust us, but also kind of like the testimonials to serve as a combination of this is why all of the different united cities need to work together, but also why we need to consider Evergreen as much of as much of an ally, like its people, not just a resource, but even its people as allies. Like we are all in this together, and we have too many forces pressing against us. Not just the machine and beggar and through the casket of beggar one, but also the other group from across the ocean. Because sure, they might be facing the machine, but at this point in time, the only damage that we can perceive them having done is to us. They've shed our blood, not the machines.
Yeah. That makes sense. So you get the sense that the summit is already in agreement that aiding Evergreen is a thing that they're gonna do. I'm just curious. So you want them to testify on behalf of getting the aid of Michael Fields or Daylight?
Of daylight specifically, because Michael Fields is going to fall in line, but it's just kind of like getting the aid of daylight in the capacity of, and technically Michael Fields falls within this as well, but it's more focused on daylight. The idea of getting everyone gathered together so that we're not just a union in name, but also like we are together as a people.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. As you say that, Venom will say, "As I said, you have my aid." And Venom takes out a knife and stabs one of the apples here and bites off of it.
Hatchy fucker.
We've fought in battle, and I will not say it again, but for right now, we know each other's hearts. And then Bitter says, I would be most pleased to testify on the behalf of you all and to aid Michael Fields and Daylight. I realize that the Egregorians who live amongst those settlements also are quite eager to see what we may decide here. And I think my testimony can aid their hearts. And Nathal takes a moment looking at both Venom and Bitter's responses and says, Cutepi, looking for your acknowledgement. I think
Oh, sorry. I was listening in trance. I was like laser focused. In my head, Cutepi is like, no. Cutepi nods, eyes stern and clear.
She says, do you think we can win this war? Earnestly.
Y'all ready for it?
Oh no! Don't talk Kino the fucking. You're doing so well.
Do it.
Tanya knows what I'm talking about.
Do it.
Tanya knows what I'm
Do it.
talking about.
I hate you so much.
Cutepi smiles and he says, the machine's forces and even the forces of Saint, they are like the rhino or the jaguar. But tell me, which is more dangerous? And I imagine we'd go through the whole spiel, but I feel like this is a really good time for like a scene fade, so that we.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely
said
get a
it.
scene fade.
Mark the bingo card. He said it.
He said the line.
It's
Say the line, Bart.
Say the line, Bart. Yeah.
Which is more dangerous?
We definitely get a scene fade right as Dethal was about to respond.
Yeah.
All right.
Cutepi's grinning. He's got a huge grin on his face.
We the camera kind of screen wipes and then pans in on Kaisar as he is looking through Hive Home, presumably approaching either. Go ahead. What do you have to say?
I was gonna say I'm really glad we have Star Wars prequel scene transitions.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck's sake!
I have been watching a lot of like a Star Wars live stream podcast.
Okay.
That's where I'm coming from. So Kaisar, you're sneaking through, or maybe not sneaking through, but doing the Kaisar thing through Hive. You've gotten the probably the exact locations of where Michael Fields and Daylight's attaches are located. These are just a number of secretaries and security forces that accompany them wherever they go. While Michael Fields and Daylight are part of the High United Cities, you can never be too cautious. They can never be too cautious about, what Hive Home has in store for them. So yeah, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
I think sometimes people are hard-headed or just afraid, and it's good to knock them down a bunch. And he's gonna use fear tactics, and he's gonna try and infiltrate one of the assemblies, I guess, the embassies,
Mm-hmm.
using his info skin and
Which one?
protoscholar of Michael Field, since they're more prone to giving in when scary stuff happens.
Okay.
And yeah, I think Kaiser will go around and first of all, he's gonna infiltrate, using his info skin and protoscholar to be like, look at the secretary, and then like from the secretary, walk into the back, transform, and then see the next person and keep going through a series of transformations to make their way to the attaches and basically disguise himself as a stranger, and he wants to try and send a message by disabling the guards.
Interesting. Let's back it up a little bit.
Sometimes
As
people are
you-
afraid. I'm going to use fear tactics.
Yeah.
Kaiser,
That's
as you
crazy.
approach, you see that the embassy of Michael Fields is guarded by two Ranger Egregorians, Assyrian Ranger Egregorians. On approach, before you even see them really and get a sense of who they are,
Oh, if there's a guard at the front, I'm gonna use the stealth suit.
Yep, but you get pinged into witness. They realize you've approached and they call out to you. Halt! Whoever is there. This is the establishment of Michael Fields. Further advancement will meet harsh reactions. Reveal yourselves.
Man, can he just turn off? I'm untaken empath.
Huh?
No more empath. No,
You just
empathetic anymore.
lobotomize yourself.
No, you can't just turn off empath. No.
Turn it off, dude. Just turn it off.
Yeah, just take out the empath part of the brain, just in an alleyway.
I really hate alleyway path turn off.
Yeah, I did
And
not
he just
expect.
pulls out like a fucking hack spike and goes pink right in their face. It's foul.
Let's go to someone else because that puts a damper in things. Kaiser's not gonna disobey witness.
Okay. So you want to go to daylight then, I guess?
Does the same thing happen at daylight?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, you can approach the daylight embassy, and on approach you see one Assyrian kind of guarding. You activate your proso card, I guess, impersonating someone who looks like they're from daylight. Pressing through, pretty much, they probably ask you some questions about where you're from or yada yada yada. You give an appropriate response. Actually, give me a roll.
Could I, when it comes to the guards at least, just stealth on through instead?
So no, the door's gonna open, so they're gonna witness you, see you as you open the door, or notice that something's open in the door.
Or what if I wait until someone comes in and just walk back behind them?
Yeah, so I still think it sounds like a check. Give me accuracy though.
Okay. Which trigger? I have
What triggers do you have?
act unseen or unheard.
Yep, that's it. You gotta tell me what you roll, because I apparently can't see it. Oh, and I can see this. Nice.
Oh,
Damn.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Crushing it.
Jesus Christ!
God, you guys have rolled like 20s like off the rip. So yeah, you pass on through as some other security forces of Daylight are kind of going through the entryway here. You get a clean kind of make out of the room. It's a typical Egregorian slash Hive home building. It's a circular dome with maybe one or two additional rooms. You can pretty well ascertain which room has the information you're looking for.
okay. Then Kaiser's gonna go towards that room, and if it's out of sight of like everyone else in the room, just take on the appearance of one of the strangers that look like they work here.
Yeah, I would say with the 26, you're able to kind of maintain that disguise that you have with the Prosa collar, and make your way into this room. It's sparsely set up. There appears to be some recorders here that maybe it's Primrose's personal recorders that keep a lot of the information that they need. There's a radio here as well, and maybe some outfits that Primrose may need if they need change of clothes.
I think he's gonna take a copy of whatever that recorders have. I
Cool.
don't know if they're like digital or not.
Yeah, it's somewhat digital. It's old Union stuff, but still pretty advanced. So yeah, it's essentially an iPad, kind of read out in like green hues. What you find as you look through this Primrose's recorder is that Primrose has been engaging in some communication with Saint Tellus. Initially, it looks like it's been very, very not damning information or anything. They just kind of been trying to open up negotiation talks with Saint Tellus unannounced. It doesn't seem like the rest of the United Cities know of this, but they've been repeatedly trying to open up negotiation talks. You kind of sift through more of this information, and you find out that they've apparently either Primrose or someone else in Daylight has made contact with the with Saint Tellus, and you don't know what transpired in that meeting. There's enough information here to tell you that, but you know that a meeting did occur.
That's
Plot
good.
thickens.
I always love blackmailing from type of stuff. I think Kaiser's gonna take the recording, and is it like a camera or like just audio?
It's like a text readout of like meeting notes essentially.
Okay, I think Kaiser's gonna leave a personal, the equivalent of like an MP3 player, but you know, it has like recording, future space stuff, all the latest OmniNet hits, and he's gonna record a video of him, of not himself, but like as someone else, making it clear that he is one of the four, because you know the weird technology Lancers, and he's basically gonna say, "Hello, Piotr. You probably don't know who I am, but I happen to be in the best interest of Hive Home, and well, there's nothing. I've looked through your stuff. I'll be honest, but nothing incriminating. But what I could do is ruin things for you." And then he's gonna turn into Piotr. He's like, "They'd be ashamed if all your efforts failed because you made a slip up somewhere." Anyways, And that's not all. I'm not the only one that could do this. I'm sure there's several others where out there, Union and Vicane. There's more things to be afraid of than just the four of us. And Vicane make good allies. I suggest you listen to their emissaries. It's like,
Cool.
also, it was pretty easy to get into your office, so
I feel like
try harder.
somewhere. I feel like while this is happening, Q is just talking to the three Hycinians. Q is just like, "Do you know which is Hachu?" Sorry, I feel like someone's talking about me. Fucking bad.
Cool.
And then he's gonna
So-
radio. He's got a stealth radio. Someone, probably whoever's on the radio, like, "Hey, Piotr, check your office," in like a disguised, protoscholar voice, and then just leave.
Interesting. Cool. So yeah, you made your way in disguised as someone else. Made your way into Pyor's office disguised as that same person, and recording a message on Pyor's recorder, kind of threatening them and also letting them know that there's more out there if you don't fall in line, essentially. And yeah, I think there may be a little bit of suspicion as you leave Pyor's offices, but not enough for where they would pursue you. You get out with a espionage job well done.
Some poor employee's
There
gonna
we
be
go.
like, get fired for this. Oh well.
Yeah, someone's definitely gonna get fired. Cool. Yeah, so we get a scene of Kaiser walking off into the all the buildings and alleyways of Hive Home. Next up is, and I'm assuming Kaiser, you're gonna. What was your intent, right? Are you trying to like? So Piotr would have got that message that you sent them.
Mm-hmm.
What was your intent behind it?
Basically, listen to what the Empicani says, because we, in the last 500 years, got like really scary stuff. Like, I could be anyone, and that's a threat.
I think he means what? How are you pushing the clock with this?
Oh, right.
You have intimidate.
I guess with daylight, or like a skill trigger.
Yeah, I think this is like a skill trigger on daylight.
Okay. Let's see. I didn't actually take anyone out. That's a shame. I do have charm. It's not as good, but I don't think anything else would
Cool.
apply.
You did sneak in, so I'll give you a d6.
Okay.
So it's a flat roll otherwise.
Let's go.
God
Yeah.
damn.
Oh my god!
Oh, damn.
Oh,
The rolls are
hold us
good tonight.
down. Can't hold us down.
someone is with you all.
The spirit of
Well, you get the
Arsenio
sense-
walks with us.
You get the sense that message carried a lot of weight. You found, while not necessarily incriminating evidence on daylight, perceived by others, definitely incriminating evidence, and especially by Michael Fields, who tends to side with the folks who take the more cautious approach. This might sow some doubt in between Michael Fields and Daylight, and you get the sense that Primrose doesn't want that to happen. They want to maintain and keep their allies, and they're willing to bend their will towards whatever it is that you want, which is of course like to aid the cause.
Yeah. And I
Yay.
think a little bit is that Kaiser's gonna be just some random civilian for now, so he's not recognized, and he's just gonna text everyone. Essentially, he's like, "I did my part. Period. Send." And he's gonna
Ominous.
look around for where winter is while everyone else is doing their stuff, and
Or go get
probably
some
leave it
fucking
at that.
tea.
Yeah. You'd be easy to find Winter. Winter's just stationed outside of the assembly here, serving tea to those who are congregating outside. So you can, after the crowd, if you get your turn to approach Winter, you can. It's almost like Winter's tailgating the summit. Cool. Kanya, you said you want to go to the mech bay to help out Daylight. Yeah.
It was just, it was largely be like, hey, this is still something I'm capable of. So in this case, it would be any mechs here from the myself fields. Be like,
Okay.
okay, you know what? They don't know what nanobot-based scrubbing is, and I doubt any of them have had an updated patch to their software in like several hundred years. So you know what? Let's just do some house cleaning.
Cool. Yeah. As you make your way into the hangar, you're approached by William, who seems to be the de facto person who is like always greeting you in the hangar. They are by no means the chief like engineer or like mech person. They just seem very enthusiastic about mechs, and they see you all have cool mechs, and they are always on any new mechs that arrive. Coincidentally, they are on. And very aware of the mechs that arrived as part of the security detachment for Michael Fields and Daylight. And William comes up to you and says, Kanya, is it?
It is. William, right?
Yes, the first name repeated.
Okay. Can I help you?
Yes, I am
Okay.
assuming you've come here like I have, interested in the new armaments our allies bring. You see, Daylight and Michael Fields, while weak when compared to Hive Home and your mechs, do sport a repertoire of effective mechs. They have several Spectre patterns, from what I can tell, and Daylight has a quite outfitted operator. Would you like to see them up close? I find them intriguing.
Functional stealth tech. Yeah, I'd like to see a lot.
Please follow me. And then William kind of takes you through the hangar, pointing out the Spectres and the operator. Which ones do you want to go to? So Daylight has the operator, and Michael Fields have the two Spectres.
Oh, look at the Spectres.
Cool. William kind of waves down some of the attachments of Hysterian Rangers that come from Michael Fields and appear to be the pilots of the Spectres, both of them humans. They kind of come down and look at you, and then look at the new mechs and make the judgment that you are the pilot of those new mechs, new spanky fangled mechs or whatever. And they say, so, which one's yours?
Sisyphus. And my mech stands up.
Okay. They see it stand up. Mostly the Pegasus lays on all fours, but standing up in its true fashion, it stands some maybe, 16, 17 feet tall. They kind of shudder a bit, kind of stepping back, not knowing what to expect. And then they say,
Okay, that's
what is
enough.
that one called? What is that one called?
Which? The mind running it, or the shell itself?
Tell more. A mind runs your mech?
Yes. As for the mech, its name is the Curse of Understanding. As for what's inside, are you aware of what an NHP is?
Only from the rumors that Ryder tells of Beggar One. I hear they're demons. Killed.
In a strange way, they're not quite so wrong. NHP, non-human person. It is an entity that exists outside of understanding as we know it. Because of the technology at our disposal, we can lock their minds into our way of thinking. Interestingly enough, the type that I use is the only one that seems to fully understand that concept. And
Lock their mind. Good.
they are capable of things far beyond anything we thought possible. And now there are whole systems, life support, on ships, banking, transfer of funds, allocation of research, all handled in ways we can't even understand. But we know they happen. One of them is they help us pilot our mechs. And occasionally bend reality as we understand it to fit a preset criteria.
Okay. All right. You threw a lot at them.
Yep.
What they're gonna take from that is lock their minds. Persons. I'm curious. Would you mind? Is it possible to share a little bit of that? Its capabilities with us. If you're truly here to aid us in the RC United Cities, this could be your opportunity.
With the time and resources, I could outfit you with simple ones, yes. Though, if we all make it out of this, I'm going to show you something truly perfect.
Interesting. Well, I will look forward to that day.
But if you need a supplemental comp con to help run your mech, I can see what I can do. I don't have a lot of parts, but I'm here to help. And Zerk cracks his knuckles.
Do you wanna roll a mechanics check to see if you can install a supplemental
Fix.
comp?
The better part of hack and fix.
Nice. Go ahead. No difficulty on this. You approach their Spectre mechs, and they like the Hive Worm mechs. They are armored in carapace armor.
You're shitting.
Oh my god!
Oh,
no.
I need to make it clear. The only time we have not rolled a crit was after insulting someone. Every other roll has been a crit.
It just sort of looks, cracks his knuckles, Sisyphus. Start playing Eye of the Tiger, and gets to work.
Oh my god, this is the most successful summit ever.
Yeah, this is going scarily well.
This is
We're
why
so-
Shaka sent us. Shaka knew.
Yeah,
We're gonna roll
exactly.
so many ones next combat.
Oh yeah, a combat's gonna be fucked. We're gonna actually die to the machine. We do these rousing speeches and get everyone on side, and then we just fucking die immediately.
Come on, everyone, we can do it.
So,
You know what this is? If anyone has ever seen Deep Blue Sea,
Deep Blue,
this is
that was a good one.
You know Deep Blue Sea. You know the scene where he gives the inspiring speech.
Yep.
I don't want to look in the water behind us, but
Well, apparently your concession clock is up to max now, because you've gotten it to max, and literally, they're almost begging to hear more from you all. Kanya, you spend time to climb aboard these Spectre cockpits. They look pretty old, but despite that, they appear to have brought the best kind of technology and kind of mech technology Michael Fields could afford. And surprisingly, these look pretty up to specs with what current Union technology is. You just see some kind of, or rather, Sisyphus helps you see some small inconsistencies in their operating systems, and you spend some time to create a compound, kind of borrowing from Sisyphus's processing power to upgrade their mechs, giving them a little bit of a needed boost.
I like to think because Sisyphus can effectively see the future with his predictive algorithms. He's like before like the conversation even started, he already started working on a pair of like just low grade compcons.
Nice.
You know what I like is the idea that Sisyphus just puts on random pieces of armor. It's like armor on the left arm, it will be shot in the future. Armor on the right
Yeah.
arm, your
There's
weapon will explode. Do not use HE rounds. Use these.
Nice.
I love that. I love that so much.
Cool.
We
well,
do
with
not
that-
stop until these mechs have the perfect sway.
Exactly.
God.
Let me use the bathroom real quick, but you guys all spend your time and then eventually regroup at the summit.
I'm guessing I would have talked to Piotr. No, not Ilya. Ilya. About the evac.
Oh, you'll talk to him during the summit whenever he convenes.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
May
Alright,
the perfect
well,
hip sway
yeah.
joke never go away.
That perfect hip sway. Time
Alright, let me
for Shaka to perfect hip sway away to the toilet, apparently.
Awful, evil. Stop.
These are patterns I do not want to see.
I almost spat my tea out.
No.
It's awful.
The perfect spiral shit. Okay, no. Cleanse
wish
the
for
brain, drink the bleach.
Yeah.
I should be out of amaretto. Okay.
My wallet and El Segundo.
Seriously though, I had real worries about this session.
Oh yeah, I thought it was going to go horrifically, but then we fucking pulled out all the crits we've been holding.
My worst nightmare was we get all this together, we've got like the big plan, and we just roll like shit. Instead, we are delivered the god rolls.
Yeah,
Like seriously.
Just watch. It's like Sisyphus was the one that re-rolled everything to do
Yeah.
whatever secret plan is.
Honestly, I
He's
feel
in
like we
league
should all
with the
get.
machine.
Yeah, I feel like we should get Predator at this point.
Yeah, we are committing roll statistic crimes.
Yeah, but...
Okie dokie. Cool.
Okie artichoke.
Alrighty. As you all arrive back from your short intermission, someone meets you at the gates. I forgot to do this. That someone, of course, it's Nosimbo.
Joke's on you, Nasimbo. I didn't leave the building. Ah!
Oh, that's true.
Drag
Bathroom's
out.
outside. You have to go out.
Nosimbo
Me-
meets you all at the gates, and she looks a bit nervous. Nosimbo says, "We must hurry. I don't know if I told the rest of you, but aboard the Nayakamubi, Shaka has started to activate, and in turn, activating the chest and loins order, which came with us from Nkulu. This I find disturbing, particularly because Shaka only activates when there is a impending threat. I have gotten word that there appears to be an orbital mass kill weapon loading and triggered on Hysenia."
Oh no.
Triggered.
Yes, I fear it is because, well, let me say this. Initially, I feared it was one of the Assyrian United Cities who hoped to sabotage this summit, hoping that the congregation of the cities at once would bring a swift end. But then also, it could possibly be this Beggar One, the machine they speak of. We've seen how they are able to activate the machines, and I fear this is their final resolve coming into fruition.
It'll do
I hope-
whatever it it'll do whatever
so-
it needs to knock over the castle.
So, question for out of character question, and just to be clear, this orbital weapon, is it aiming at Shaka's ship, or is it aiming
aiming at Titanium.
Got you. Yeah, that's not
Oh,
great.
Yeah, I'm imagining one of the Pillars of God things. If any of you ever seen like G.I. Joe, that's the concept.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nasimbo
Well.
says, there are two things I need from you all. First, end this summit as quickly as possible. Do not cause a mass hysteria. I have already notified the Thor. We are going to protect Endeavor, as they are, from what I can tell, the culmination of the Egregorian experience. The second thing I need, Shaka has already activated, or is in preparation for activating, either the chest or the loins order. And under those divisions, before us are possibly Domlanga, the Zenku of the chest order, or the Ndulenji or Ndoko of the loins order. I have a bit of sway with the Shaka aboard the Naikamubi, but I need you all's perspective on which to activate first.
And I once again, I'm asking for out of character information. Though I suppose my character would all, just like before, my character would probably know this. Is there anything specific about either or
Yes.
that could help us make a decision?
Yes. Give me 1 second. Let me just.
Loins
One,
is
time's up.
supply, chest is like main fighting force, right?
Or yeah, the ones of the loins order are a little weird though. These are the ones you probably don't want activated at the loin. Well, the Ndulienji is you want activated, but maybe not the Ndoko. So the Ndulienji of the loins order. I'm just going to read the description of them. You are those who aid Shaka and the Antitho, molding imposing figures from Earth itself. You members of the Ndulinji are the engineers of the war order, whether it's sleek geometrics or the Asai war corvettes. The Abutho or Chetswile, your minds are forever devising new instruments for the war order's exclusive use. You work in close coordination with the Antitho, but your weapons are for war and defense. Your fellow Infocane should not confuse your intent. So if you bring the Ndulinji of the Loins order, you have access to Infocane's exotic gear on future excursions.
Ooh. Okay. I have to look at Infocane's exotic gear.
To be clear, would having the loins order activated give the Hessenians Infocane gear?
You very well so, yes.
Oh.
So only the Ndulinji suborder of the Loins order. The Udoko, or Savage Fighters, little is known about Shaka's Ndoko. It is common knowledge. Little is known about Shaka's Ndoko that is common knowledge. Few other Infocane, even Impi, know their true intent. They often only are seen in company of the Sangomas and are rumored to be the physical manifestations of their wild stories. They are the strongest of the Impi, and there is not one Ndoko who doesn't possess some glaring unique characteristic. Publicly accessible information about the Ndoko paints them as Sagnoma's angels, the gatekeepers of those who hold Infocane's oral history, and that's pretty much it. But you know that with the Ndoko come 3 people, 2 members, Impi of the Ndoko, and a Sagnoma named Nzizuzelo.
Okay. So it's basically, from what I'm gathering, a choice between logistic assistance and like more gear, or a group of hard charges?
Yeah, for the loins order, yes, and then from the chest order, there are 2 suborders that could be activated. Izanku is they're probably just going to glass the whole planet. Like that's just like they're probably just going to glass Evergreen, honestly.
Yeah,
That's
don't want
Yeah, that's
yeah. And the Halanga, they're it's I have a hard time pronounce this, but yeah, Halanga. Their priority will be to create an Enkanda. So create a forward base that bolsters the existing forces here. So your options are
that could be
these
useful.
people who are like savage, like not savage fighter, but like people who are like the Indoko who are like they're accompanied by a Segnoma and they might who knows, they're just like diesel as fuck. The Indolinji, which would be like,
people bragged about, but for real and every day.
yep. The Indolinji who will offer you exotic gear, Izanku who are like a quick solution with definitely repercussions, and the Mhalanga which will create an Enkanda presumably.
Above game, I'm thinking the FOB would be pretty nifty because that sounds like it's got more bodies to throw at the problems.
Yeah, to my
Whereas
understanding,
the hard charges sound like they're pretty much just pilots either on our level or a bit better to assist with murdering a fuck ton of robots.
I think if our goal is actually getting this place to be a functional, like, if the goal is like the long term to have this when all is said and done be a friend and ally to at least the Mfakane, if not all of Union, I feel like the logistics are the better call here. That means more
does sound useful, yeah.
Because also, if it means that the locals get access to Mfakane gear,
that's the thing I need clarification on, because if it's just that we will get access to exotic Mfakane gear, it's like it's not that's bad, but that doesn't really do anything because all the pressure is still on us.
It's a very small effect.
Yeah,
it's not a whole contingent of Impi that would arrive as part of the Indolinji of the Loins Order. It's just one Impi named Bunkani who would come and aid the creation and crafting of Mfakane.
Okay. So we just get a single engineer to make more shit rather than like an FOB full of MP.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I'm definitely leaning FOB or the hard charges because Logi, considering it's just one bloke, isn't particularly effective.
It's one bloke.
It'd be great for like winning hearts and minds, but they're gonna lose their hearts and minds to robots stabbing them.
It's one bloke with access to a printer. A single engineer does a lot in this situation.
They're named Kanye. I'm just
Does that bloke have like a full scale printer? Or is it just... Oh, okay. So it's
yep.
Okay, Logic help plus printer.
Let me simplify it a little bit. So one of the chest orders in Halanga will be able to rather help the High United Cities become stronger as a whole in the creation of a Kanda. The Izanku will be able to take out who you wanted to take out, right? So like think of you have an Ukuwa that you can use to point at things.
Kill the big boss, please. Game ended. Yeah. Game finished. Beggar is dead.
The Induenji will be able to bring a printer and all the necessary stuff that you need to like print out dope ass Mexan like gear. The Ndoko are just like a wild card. Like they're just like they're like animal people, honestly.
Well, let's give the Izanku and Kidus.
Oh man, that's tough. I guess what I want to just make sure I'm asking clarification on, and I apologize if you feel as though you've already answered this, I apologize. It's just like I need to hear it phrased in a way that I can understand. For absolute clarity, if we chose the person who's going to come down with a printer and can print exotic Mfakane gear, they aren't just making us better; they are making our allies better too. Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
I
It's
mean-
an NPC who have their personality and stuff, but yeah,
Yeah.
presumably that's what they'll be.
If that is the case, I'm leaning towards that because home, assumedly, if it so long as it does not get destroyed, Hive Home can already be a forward operating base, and if Hive Home does get destroyed by a giant space laser, there's nothing stopping from besides how long it takes to line back up in orbit. There's nothing stopping a giant space laser from hitting the other forward operating base. So it's more so just like a. To me, it's make everyone better. Make sure everyone has is at the like highest level of outfitting and loadout that they can be, so that we can really push it.
Yeah, just to clarify, the mass kill weapon is targeting Hycenia as a planet. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
it's a
Yeah.
mass kill.
I
It
mean,
is
like, well,
literally
It's the whole planet.
it's that
Okay.
whole
I mean,
concept
if
of
this is-
yeeting a small iron bar out of orbit into a planet and
No,
cracking its core.
I know what it is. That wasn't clear to me.
I want to clarify. It's like it won't like it's targeting anywhere on the planet. It's not targeting of course it's targeting the planet itself. It doesn't have like the ability to like hurt the whole planet, right? It has the ability to
Oh,
presumably
okay.
destroy a
city.
state size, yeah, like a state or like a city size place, right? So
Okay.
it could be targeted at St. Teles, it could be targeted at Evergreen, and like who knows where it's targeted. Shocker just
You
picked
don't
up
wanna
that it's
fuck around with
targeting
that.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck around with a fucking nuke. I thought it was gonna be a mass kill weapon, like it
No.
says.
Yeah,
like a couple times it mentions in the lore how it's just like fucking crack a whole planet, just yeet
Yeah.
something at it and blow it the fuck up.
Yeah, not that.
Ooh, that's a relief.
Yeah, after I heard mass, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Sorry
Yeah, that
guys,
was-
we lost.
I mean, nukes are fucking scary too, and we should really deactivate the fuck out of that. But in terms of like our choice here, what are you guys feeling? We should probably just Shaka, can you put like it in chat, like the four different options,
Yes.
and then we can just like react with thingies to vote for it, I guess.
Trust in the engineering core.
Yeah,
I am definitely that printer will be fucking great, especially if the when we do attack Evergreen and try and retrieve their printer. If we have if we can't get the printer, then we've still got a printer. And
there's also a
if
connection.
we get the other printer, we got two printers.
There's also a connection with my character personally. My character knows and is friends with another character named Walsey, who is in Umthetho, and the engineers are close to Umthethos, which, at least from my point of view, my character might kind of be chill with those engineers too. So I'm all for engineer. Yeah, like can't win a war without engineers. I'm all for them.
NG core.
All right, there you go. So how it is organized is there's a name under the suborder, and that's the person that's coming. So the chest order, specific suborder of the chest order is Mhalanga. Thembeke will be coming. The Ndoko, which is a Lawrence order thing. There's two MP that will be coming, plus the Segnoma Inzinzizilo. Indolienji is of the Lawrence order. Bongwani will be coming, and then Nizanku is of the chest order, and there's two MP that will be coming from them.
Yeah. I know Kanye and I are decided. Is anyone else?
I think Kaiser would go for the logistical route, so the printers or the engineers.
Okay. And Gear?
So
Gosh.
one vote for the
I haven't even thought it through character perspective at this point. As a player, it's definitely FOB or NG. Hmm. Come back to me.
Bring me my
So
people.
Kanye, which one do you want to go for, Kanye?
Logistics.
All right, so there's either the Ndolko, which are logistical, but also like a wild card, and the Unduyenji, who do like the exotic gear stuff.
Exotic gear.
Yeah, we're going for the printer. If they have a
Do
fucking
NG.
full-scale printer, absolutely the printer.
And the ones with the printers, they're gonna make an Anaconda.
No. That's the
That's the FOB guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the Mhalanga or whatever. Yeah, Mhalanga.
Oh, all these
that-
fancy
and
words are too
That's
much
probably
for my small brain.
more like I'm imagining the Hungalanga is more drop kind of Halo style tactical drop from orbit expands into forward operating base.
Yeah.
That's their thing. Yep.
You could have just called them the ODST and called it. No, I'm sorry.
I could.
The names do actually just confuse me. I'm not a big brain.
I know I'm probably going to ask about the names later, but for right now, I know the short of it is exotic engineering, exotic tech engineer. Send them.
So to be super duper clear, the engineer option, that one guy with the engineering stuff, he's got a full scale printer.
Yep.
Let's definitely go with that then.
Bring me my people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's forgotten. I also am an engineer.
You ain't got a
just
printer
different
though, punk.
I do have.
that's-
I have a personal printer.
That's
Look at this dweeb.
that's 3 votes for the Indu of the Loins Order. Golgwani, per y'all's direction, will be activated on the Naikamubi. Nosimbo says, so Bongwani is your choice. Do not know them personally, although I did meet them when we left Nkulu. They seem to be reasonable and sound, though a bit too enthusiastic about the machines of war.
Sounds
like them
like
already.
someone I know.
I like them already.
It looks like we get a cute inventor nerd. Yay.
Nosimbo
Too
says,
many Owalsies.
Nosimbo says, well, that is all I had for you all. I must go now. Thor and I must find a way to protect Endeavor. Again, like I said, in this summit as soon as possible, and try not to cause a hysteria. I would not mention the mass kill kinetic weapon, but in confidence.
When they arrive, see if you can snag some of their time with the printer and some personal defense shield matrices. The Harrison Armory pattern version. They might be an idea for defending Endeavor.
True enough. It'll be some time before they are ready to activate. My estimates are about a week.
Oh,
Then we should do
that
all that we
long,
can
then we
until
have-
then. Sorry, Gear.
No, it's fine.
What did you say?
We all talked at the same time. Now my head is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said what I had to, which was just.
What
that,
did you
like,
say?
I said that we will do what we can, and then we will do everything we can until then.
Yeah. Gil was just trying to say, if we can survive till then, the printer and shields will be invaluable.
Nosimbo says, I think we will survive. I presume Shaka is already trying to interrupt the targeting mechanisms of this kinetic kill weapon. But nothing can be promised. There isn't much time. I must leave you all. Be safe, praise Shaka.
I'm not sure
Praise
who I'm more
Shaka.
scared of having control of that, actually.
Cool. with that, you all get the start to hear that the summit is about to reconvene and begin. There's some grumbles from inside as the steamer rushes off in the other direction. You all walk back in, and I think we're at 9:53. I think we can conclude the summit in next session.
Oh man.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Oh,
you don't,
yeah,
roll,
I
you don't
just,
want us to roll, and you don't want us to roll another crit and just have all of them filled.
Let's give you guys a cool day, a day to cool off.
And my axe.
Next session of all nat ones.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
That's why
please.
Shaka wants us to wait, because Shaka's like, I gotta
We're gonna fail
get the
summit
luck
somehow.
to retime.
Yeah. So in closing, you all see Primrose, Ryder Hydel, and Ilar Ordo, also Terra, who hasn't left, all kind of congregating around this table. And everyone's silent, kind of waiting for who's going to speak up first. And as Terra starts to chime in and speak, the camera pans out and cuts out, and we'll pick up next session.
Wait,
Okay.
did Kutepi get to roll for his involvement?
Kutepi will roll during the summit.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Kitepi
Yes,
rallied
yeah.
support, so it's going to help us with the next rolls.
Yeah. Could you actually type that into the Wallflower text chat, Kutepi, what you plan on doing? And then I think there was someone else.
I need to persuade Thingo to get daylight, a proper
Yes.
evacuation.
Yes. Could you type that in the Wallflower text chat? Or so I know.
Why do I feel like there was a version of events that we fought those mechs that were in that hangar bay?
There could have been. There very well could have been. If Kaiser failed their shady ass like espionage roles, I was gonna have some Spectre mechs kind of come through town. Kind of
Ooh,
party.
Stumpy to kill. A sneaky.
Fool. Kaiser's the Spectre mech.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys did really well. And
Yeah.
like straight up 20s every single roll. I was not expecting that.
Same.
But yeah, we
That's
got
crazy.
pretty fucking lucky, not gonna lie.
We look, this is just the combined efforts of all the strife and pain that we suffered through finally coming up
It's all
Millhouse.
turning up, Millhouse.
Yeah, thank you. Like we suffered for it. All right, well, this is a good session. Thank you, bus driver.
Yeah, thank you, Bus Driver. It was wonderful.
problem.
I really enjoyed it. Lots of good RP, my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Do enjoy it.
I had no idea how this was gonna go. I was like, how do I do a fucking summit thing? I was like, I don't even
I
understand.
mean,
how to do it. It's, like, really
Clock is a
hard.
good way. So yeah, but thank you for running the game, and thank you to viewers like you.
Wow,
Thank you, viewers, for watching our program.
Y'all are fucking shills.
Where's our ad money? I need to get paid.
Subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe.
Goodbye,
like and
everybody.
subscribe.